Alrighty. Welcome to a nice, calm game of not fighting in the rampage anymore.
I appreciate this.
I am Taylorobey DM. We're joined by Silent as...
The fuck?
I think Bob leaked into reality a bit. Joined by Silent, who is playing as Kiljow.
Hello.
Dan, who is playing as Nysdrith.
What's up, guys and girls, and those of unspecified genders?
And JacobTheMadMayor as Leo.
Maybe.
May have been the source of the noise was something that they had to that Jacob had to.
Yeah, it was my phone going off.
Yeah. Okay. And last we left off, we were not here. We were in the rampage camp, but I cleared all the tokens out because I was rolling for things. So now we're back on this map for convenience. But narratively, you guys just finished up the rampage. Sig seems to be looking at the siege weaponry.
Do I have that? Hold up, that's a great question.
And at this current moment, just as the rampage has ended, the Stygian Zinogre has fallen to pieces and dissolved.
Did you... I'm
Hmm?
sorry, did you give me a link to like a Google Drive or something with the...
That would be me.
Okay, cool. I just haven't downloaded it yet. Sorry, continue.
Right. You guys managed to finish off this Stygian Zinogre. It fell into pieces and then dissolved into sort of a necrotic goo. It's left a smoldering, barren spot on the ground.
Yep, and then
Large portions of the outpost have been smashed or slashed apart by monsters.
and we now
Some of the defenders start like helping put out a couple fires that got started.
we now have at least one vial of Stygian Zinogre goo
Mm-hmm.
because Sig was collecting that.
You have managed to successfully capture a Viper Toby Kadachi, and you were also able to just as Leo was down and dying from from the largest blast of the Zinogre.
Yeah, he's
One
fine.
of the defenders was able to get her up,
Yeah,
and then
she's
she
fine.
immediately passed out.
Yeah, she's fine. Do you want to
Yeah.
give a synopsis of that?
I think I'll let that happen in character.
Yeah, let's wait till she wakes up.
All right, let me calc something real quick. This is 1, 2. 500.
How many of those do I still have? I have 3 of those still left. Okay.
I'm gonna get a thing from that, aren't I? 1. Yeah. Shut up, Streamlabs. 2.
Nysdrith limps over to Leo, kind of dragging himself, propping himself up on the shattered piece of wood he picks up, and at first taps Leo in the side with the stick, kind of poking her a little bit.
Unresponsive.
Dibs on the gold if she's dead.
Kind of goes to his knees, puts a hand on each of her shoulders, leans her up, and then violently shakes her, going, "Wake up!"
She's
There's-
breathing,
Yeah,
but
there's
she's not responsive.
Yeah, she does not wake up.
Yes,
How many
yes.
of each of these do we have?
She might be really out of it. Wait, I thought she was already whatever it was called. One of the other hands they healed her, right?
6, 7.
Oh,
yeah,
she was
no,
stabilized.
she's alive. She's
Oh,
stable and alive, but just asleep, passed out.
Right. Well, I'm out of ideas.
Give me a second.
And I
2,
throw her
4,
over my shoulder,
5.
walk over to the Viper Toby Kadashi, lay Leo down next to the Toby Kadashi, and start wrapping some chains around the Toby Kadashi so I can drag it back to camp with me.
Ooh. A little rough there, eh?
6.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, what'd you say, Jacob?
Said a little rough there, huh?
Well, I don't want to lose this thing.
I hear you.
I worked hard to get this one.
All right. Total gold, unless I'm mistaken, Taylor, total gold value of all of the material pieces that we've collected outside of the malachite ore
Mechalite, because it's different.
is 3,705.
Hey, not selling that.
Possibly. I did not go through and to calculate the value of it.
Kiljow is calculating the value of it because Kiljow needs the
Hey, so
Really?
Holy shit, you were able to make it!
money. Very nice. Yeah. Kiljow is calculating the value of it because Kiljow needs the money badly.
yeah. Just to catch you up to speed, Illiren, we're just going over, finish up the rampage. Gotten materials from the monsters. Leo is stabilized but won't wake up, and Nysdrith is trying to set up the Viper Toby Kadachi be dragged back to camp.
And trying to wake up Leo at the same time.
All right. That's good things. I just remembered how hurt I am. Right.
We're all hurt. That last one kind of kicked the crap out of us.
And with that, I throw Leo over my shoulder, fashion the chains into a bit of like a loop thing, and place those over my chest, and start dragging both of them back to camp.
Remind me, Taylor. Mindguard. That's a coastal city in the old world?
Mindguard is in fact a coastal city, yes. It's one of the two
Okay.
closest port towns that you would be able to get to over sea.
Okay, that's good. I'm just trying to calculate.
I don't know if y'all noticed this or not when I said last time. I apparently wasn't upgrading my Eldritch Cannon as I leveled up. Like the past few times we leveled up. So it was about 2 levels lower for that fight than it should have been.
Does that
Can't-
mean anything, or...?
Hand wavium. Having seen this artillery in action, you decide to upgrade your own cannon.
It is now appropriately
Awesome.
leveled.
It is now canon.
Yeah.
Ha 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 ha
Oh.
Oh,
I
the
have
pain.
I was awesome idea. Exploding cannons. It came to me after the cannon I was on exploded.
Okay.
So does that mean you're setting like a self-destruct or something?
Yes.
Like Borderlands, when you you run out of ammo, so you just chuck the gun, and it explodes, and you get a new gun.
Yes.
And we leveled up to level 9.
Yay. I'm still in pain.
Take care of that.
Right.
Okay.
So, you know, you guys are able to
Yeah.
collect all the materials that you can from these dead creatures. Start cleaning up the area a little bit. Take a bit of a rest, and just as you're about to start heading back to town, Leo wakes up with a gasp.
Oh, hey, Leo, you're not dead.
Oh, thank God, my shoulder's getting tired from carrying you. Nope, I think she's still dead.
Jacob, are you there?
I was not expecting to wake up this soon. I was not ready.
You weren't. Didn't take that long.
I thought she was gonna be in a coma for at least a day.
Nope, just a few hours.
Well, I mean,
Damn.
if you just drop her, she should come to pretty quickly.
No, she'll go.
Gently, please, gently.
As you are talking, Kiljow takes a cup of water and splashes you in the face.
Hey! Watch which face you're aiming for.
Yeah, you just like take a cup of water and throw it directly over the upper portion of Nysdrith's torso. Nysdrith, your armor is wet.
Please stop.
We're almost to the camp, for heaven's sakes. You want me to stop now? I'm just gonna drop you off at the hospital.
Bad dream.
If you're dreaming about it,
Abyssal magic.
chasing you, don't look behind you.
I know who's behind that creature from the temple in the Zinogre.
The what?
I think Leo's just a bit delirious. Let's just drop her off at the hospital.
No, I'm not delirious.
No, you I think you definitely are. You just got hit by big blast from creature.
Yes,
confused. I
that
thought
big
your name
blast
was
of
Leo.
creature that was laced with abyssal magic that linked my mind to the mind of whoever's behind this.
I think you just had a bad dream.
Yeah, want to ask a Moon that or Bob?
Well, I mean, we can always head out there and ask them.
Yeah, he'll confirm it.
Still,
It took him and Bob to pull me out of it.
That sounds like a bad
still half
dream.
convinced that Bob isn't
Yeah.
real.
Like I said,
Have you
It
met
wasn't-
Bob?
Not on the slightest. Never have. I don't think he's real.
Oh, well, yeah, no, that makes sense. It could just be a delusion all of us are having when we're getting really drunk. Jacob is like, I want to kill all of you.
Reality could just be an illusion, hallucination we're having when we're all sober.
Hmm.
No, that checks out.
I guess the Dionysians were right. Get drunk in the woods is the best option.
of course I
Right,
lost my
So
freaking
you're
note
all
from back then.
crazy.
Listen, I am not kidding. There was something in the lightning that the Zinogre shot out. When I was knocked out, it linked me to something. I saw the memories of whoever's behind all of this. That Zinogre, that creature we ran into in the sunken temple. His name is Force Animus. He's been dabbling in abyssal magic.
Wait, there's such a thing as abyssal magic?
Yes.
I
Flip.
think
I am remembering that right, Taylor?
Yes.
I think you just need to get some rest, Leo.
I mean, nobody's arguing that, but this does sound a little important. So,
Alright, but I have an idea. How far are we from the camp?
I know we've been walking for like 2 hours.
Roughly a distance that is narratively convenient at the time.
I want to wait until we are about to walk in the camp. Maple beer.
Yeah, kind of saw that coming.
What?
Let's just ask Akambherylliax. Maple beer.
All right.
Uh,
Does anybody not want to go to the tavern right now?
it's a bad idea. but it's still an idea. But if nobody else was going to listen, I was going to use Gaze of Two Minds to literally, in an attempt to show them what I saw.
Got time before Kiljow does that, technically. And, I mean, I think Nysdrith would actually say,
Nope, not going.
because he wants to get the Tobi Kadashi to what's-her-name as soon as possible.
Sorry.
Yep.
Oh well, if
And
yeah,
wants to get
well,
Leo to the hospital.
For narrative's sake, we'll wait until you drop off the Tobi Kadachi, and then I'll maple beer us. I mean, I'm sure they have a better hospital than we do at the inn.
I'm not so certain you want to tempt a devil with somebody who is pretty much already dead. I'm pretty sure that's like cocaine to those people. They just
Yeah,
can't pass it up.
I mean, I think all Cabio really cares about is money.
He's a devil. They all care about souls.
Right, I think
Have
he
you heard of
cares.
soul coins? It's kind of a big deal there.
I think he just cares about money.
Yes, souls are worth a lot of money there. That's the point.
Yeah, I trust Cabio.
Leo,
You know, there is no talking Kiljow out of anything once he makes up his mind.
I can knock him out for us if we need to.
You know, it's just gonna piss him off. And he's just gonna do it anyway.
I mean, if all he cared about was souls and not money, then he wouldn't have made this contract with me just for money.
Kiljow, can I make a small request?
Yeah, oh, okay.
Can you wait until we at least get to the hospital and I'm checked out before we go?
Okay.
I could use something hard myself.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very least we're not dragging in a dead body right into the devil's domain saying, "Hey, how you doing? Look what we brought for you."
I'm sure I'll be fine physically, but with what I just went through,
I think you're a
it's-
bit confused on how devils and demons work and do not overlap in 5e.
Definitely not, right, Sig?
Yes, definitely, I think.
I mean, you're a bit more wrong than that anyway, because he's not from the Abyss or the Hells, so...
Yeah.
I have not been able to get in contact with the card people.
Yes, but that's the way Nysdrith is approaching it.
I will handle it when I can, as I can.
So,
Sorry
but
for
yeah.
the
Also,
interruption.
I'm pocketing that malachite ore because I don't want
Acolyte?
the Kiljow to steal it, so we can upgrade our weapons and whatnot.
Kiljow didn't say anything about the Macalite ore. That's player knowledge, not character knowledge.
Oh well, either way, Nysdrith was planning on pocketing that so he could have the upgrade materials for later.
What do you need to
Well,
upgrade?
I was figuring we were going to divvy up things after, but yeah.
Oh, no, right.
I mean, we
Also-
kind of share our stuff anyways,
Yeah.
That's true.
so
Alright.
I'm not hugely on as far as who's got what, but I do want to hold on to some of the upgrading components at least.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm going through all of the materials I have and what materials we got in the Rampage and what they could potentially be sold for and what we could do to potentially minimize the duration of our trip to the old world.
Mm-hmm.
If you really want to know, the only two other things I'm thinking about keeping is the Great Izuchi Tail and the... where the heck is it? Oh, the Nargekugu Tail. as well.
Nargacuga?
Nagakuga?
Yeah, that thing. As well. Those are pretty much the only things I was considering wanting to hold on to. Because, what the heck is it? Oh wait, yeah, there it is. The status pursuit bonus to weapon, although I'm not keen on losing either of the effects I currently have, is a very useful bonus to have. So I wanted to hold on to
Yeah.
that. And the other one was a kind of a status effect to nearby AI allies. that's actually quite
We-
helpful.
Someone else could equip a Wrath Wing Talon to their armor.
I don't know what any of that is.
Right.
Then you too can get exhaustion from the haste spell.
Not interested. We've seen what that does to you.
It makes me amazing. And then useless.
Although I'll be honest, yes, if like we don't want to sell that, or if anybody's like hesitant, I'll hold on to that.
All right. That whole bit aside.
We were kind of discussing that while we were walking to camp after deciding what we were going to do.
Yeah.
But you
No.
guys are able to get back to camp. From the looks of things, there were some other monsters that came and attacked this area, but nowhere near as destructive as what you held off.
Mm-hmm.
You're able to get to the infirmary in the Hunters Guild. I'll get checked over a bit. The worst of your wounds stitched up. Nothing life-threatening. You guys don't have any like life-threatening injuries. You're not gonna bleed out or have internal bleeding or anything like that. Just some stitches, some healing magic, a bit of time.
As they're stitching us up, I look over at Nysdrith. You know, I've never understood why they stitch us up when there's magic.
The person who is currently stitching a cut on your arm turns to you and says, well, not enough magic to go around sometimes. Plus, it helps speed up the healing. The magic just helps it happen faster as well.
I mean, you still need doctors no matter what. I mean, yes, healing helps heal.
I mean,
magic helps heal
everything.
gashes, but I mean,
Magic can bring you back to life. It can heal all of your injuries. Kind of like sleeping for 8 hours. It can cure any disease or poison.
I always kind of just figured that kind of stuff was happening at hospitals. Honestly, just mixed.
It
in,
is. It's just
What do we need hospitals for?
all
well-
of that you just said.
But that's
Yeah.
all magic.
Yeah, but these
Magic
people are
is-
very gifted in that kind of magic.
Yeah, no, you guys can see there's people going around using magic to heal. It's just that they can't do too much at one time because there's a lot of people to heal currently.
And a spell slot limit.
Yep. You want to bring somebody back to life? Do you know how many people have 9th level spell slots? True Resurrection?
2. We're talking about here in this little camp, right?
Um,
Hey, it's Kiljow wondering. Kiljow doesn't know anything about the world, or doctors, or hospitals. He just knows that magic fixes everything. He also doesn't know anything about magic other than magic
Yep.
fixes things. It's roleplay. Let my character grow.
Let him start stupid and become slightly less stupid.
That's kind of Killjaw's character arc, yes.
Yum.
Sometimes I feel like he's making the rest of us dumber.
Hey,
Oh my god, he's an intelligence vampire.
I'm secretly a mind flayer.
Kill it with fire.
I'm an intellect devourer. Just wait until I steal one of your bodies.
Oh god, we're dead.
So, you are all able to have a lively discussion about the limitations of magic and logistics with somebody who lived their entire short life in a hut in the woods.
Hey, at least Killjaw's best idea is no longer let's kill the god of murder.
Okay, a bit of a meta point, actually. Somebody did kill Ball.
Oh, so then my idea is fine. Let's murder the god of murder.
I mean, he came back, but somebody did manage to kill him. But only because they were using the avatar of another god as a sword. D&D mythology is weird.
D&D mythology is very weird.
Yep.
Yeah, this person used the incarnation of a god as a sword, killed Baal while he was technically sort of mortal, took his place for a while, and then all the children that Baal fathered died, and then his essence was released from them, so he came back to life and took his godhood back.
Wow, that sounds really convoluted.
D&D mythology, folks.
To be fair, real world mythology is really freaking weird too.
This is an accurate statement.
There's an Egyptian deity whose origin is that one deity tricked another deity into ejaculating on a lettuce leaf, and that turned into a god.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I did not know about this.
That checks out.
I am not making this. This is legitimately okay. Anyway, but
Gods go weird. Let's move on.
Kiljow
mythology is strange.
Kiljow now understands why hospitals exist.
Yay!
Next up, heading to an interdimensional tavern run by a devil.
Hang on,
All right.
hang on. I still gotta talk to the farm lady. Whatever.
Oh, I thought we would have dropped it off first rather than bringing the
I
Toby.
think so too. But
By
I
the
want to
way,
make sure he knows that I want to keep this thing.
real quick, while we're being looked at, Leo would like to pass a message. It's usually Kel we report to in regards to our missions and whatnot, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's gonna send a message to both Kel and Rezi to meet up with them. That she's got something incredibly important to report regarding recent events. They'll both want to be there regarding it.
They both answer that they're currently indisposed dealing with something, but will be there shortly.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess we are. Well, they're dropping off the Toby Kadachi. Kiljow is gonna go to the Palico farm since we're planning to go to the tavern, and I'm gonna do my harvest.
Okay.
I hope a moon might be there. It might be there with, if what I'm hoping to do works.
And I get
Right. So
259.
yeah.
It's 30 per bushel.
Believe so.
Yeah, 30 fruits per bushel. Okay. So I have
All right.
259 plus 21 that I still had. So 280. So I have 9 bushels. And 10 left over. Okay. Cool. Good to know, because that's money off my debt. Actually, wait, no. Hold up. I'm sorry. I don't have that many. You can continue while I calculate this.
Okay. Other things that were happening.
I just want to make sure that the animal handler knows that I want to keep the Toby Kadashi and start training it.
Well, kind of have to find her first.
Head over to the place where we dropped off the puff ball. I forget what the heck the thing is called.
Palumu?
Paolumo?
Yes, that one.
All right. I mean, you do find some workers working there, but she's not currently there.
What was the girl's name again? I forget.
Valcarel.
Valcarel, thank you.
You might also want to include that we want to hold it to at least ask about why it rampaged in the sort.
All right.
Just
Hey,
so
is Valcarel around?
I don't think she's around right now. I heard she was out working on something in the old world, some sort of conservation project they were trying to coordinate.
Oh. How long is she gonna be gone for?
I don't know. I mean, depends on how long it takes. Trip should take at least about a month and a half.
Bummer. Well, you see, I'm dragging along this Viper Togi Kirashi that I managed to knock out in our last rampage. And I want to keep it. And start training it.
I suppose we can set up some room for you. Try. I mean, we shouldn't be bringing back every single thing that you end up fighting and decide you want to keep. It's generally easy to overdo it, but as long as y'all don't have too many things here at a time, it should be fine.
I think this is my first. I think Kiljow over there has 2 or 3 already.
Yeah, we're trying to
yeah, no,
limit the amount that certain groups can.
Yeah, no, I have the Iadrome that its entire pack was killed by one of the monsters that we were sent out to hunt on a mission, and then the Paolumo here, Zephy, who followed us back because it really liked eggs that Leo cooked.
Don't forget Stephen Henry.
Oh yeah, and we have Stephen Henry who decided that they wanted to come back with us from the.
Don't count. They're
the
part of our team. They're not pets. They're team
I mean,
members.
they're still taking up some of the room here. That's fine. I just don't want y'all bringing every single thing that you happen upon back.
I mean, unless I manage to capture one of those giant T-Rex looking things, Ajanathi, or whatever the heck they're called.
Well, we have the egg. We have.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Yeah, we have the Fulgur Anjanath egg that the Kuliyaku stole.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is the only thing that I really wanted to train up until that egg hatches, and then I might swap the 2.
Oh god, that's poorly worded, and you know it.
I mean, I'm not sure swapping is the right word. We could
Yeah, no, we don't.
certainly help you train this one, and then once he's no longer of use to you, rehabilitate him for the wild, or the harvest parts trip, or whatever happens to be the particular thing you need done.
So yeah, I mean, we don't have that many.
We also need to.
I have 4. That's a lot.
6.
I'm not counting the other 2.
Yep. Sure.
They don't count. They're team members.
Yeah.
Again, you could also bring up that we need to kind of interrogate it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Leo over there wants to interrogate it too at some point. Wait. Is interrogating it going to mess up with my trying to tame the thing?
No, it won't. I'm just going to ask why it joined the rampage, what drove it to do so, and whatnot.
Dog?
Yes, Ripley.
No, that's the Toby Kadashi. We need to get this thing in its cage real quickly before it finally wakes up.
Ripley, chillax. Shush.
Alright, so how much do I owe you for the cage?
Just my
Or-
water, girl.
10 or whatever.
I mean, We don't really charge people to keep their animals here. Just as long as they keep it within a reasonable amount. Get a few
Well-
more, we'll start charging you. Just have a dedicated area.
I mean, we already paid for an area. I gave Valcarel a lot of platinum to expand the area.
Oh, that was you folk.
Yeah, that was us.
Oh yeah, no, then it should be fine for.
All right, sweet. Well, here's a nice little 5 platinum just to make sure that we sweeten the deal here a little bit.
I think
Take
I
it
think I gave Valcarel like 30 platinum already.
Here's an investment of.
Why do you think
5
she is
platinum.
now suddenly off trying to discuss a conservation effort with someone?
Because we gave her a lot of fucking money that she wasn't expecting to get.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, what's your name?
My name?
Yeah. Kind of seems rude to be talking to you this whole time and not knowing your name. Or what you even are. What are you?
I think it's kind of racist just to go to someone and ask, "What are you?"
What does he look like he is?
Well, boy, you look at this person, and given your vast intellect and previous experience with this dude, it's half elf actually.
Okay.
This is a half elf man. He says to you, "Oh, my name's Timothy. I work as one of the higher level monster care providers here at this facility."
Sweet. All right, well, here you go. Oh, wait, do you need me to drag it over there or wherever it needs to go for you?
I mean, if you could, it'd be appreciated.
Do you just
Yeah,
have
no problem.
do you just have this thing strapped to your fucking back?
Now you have it chained, and the chains are running across my chest to make like that little dragging thing you would use to pull like a big heavy thing behind you.
Like a harness?
Yeah, that.
I'm
I mean,
assuming you use one of those carts with wheels that are constantly showing up in the Monster Hunter games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know you had
The
I was dragging this
magical
thing down.
cart.
Well, once I saw one of those and somebody offered, I would have taken that. So yes, we were doing that instead.
I think what happened is we captured the monster and it just magically like apparated into existence next to us because that's what seems to happen in the games.
That's useful.
Magic.
All right,
Magic.
Timothy, here you go, and thanks a lot. I think we got a date with a devil now too, so take
Right,
care
right.
of it until I get back.
Of course, yeah, and that's something we can certainly do. That's you said you were wanting to talk to it soon once it woke up.
Yes, once we're back. Until
Anyways,
then, please make sure he's comfortable. He'll probably be very, very surprised to be waking up in an unfamiliar area, especially if what I assume could have happened to him may be what's happened.
Right.
Hopefully we don't have to make a monster that's going to try to eat him.
I mean, I could just let him know that y'all are gonna want to talk to him.
You can speak to animals too?
Yeah, it's pretty useful in my line of work.
I would imagine it is. Thank you. It would
I-
be great. It would be greatly appreciated then if you're able to let him know the situation once he wakes up, and let him know that we'll be wanting to ask him questions about the rampage.
Sure.
Is there a
Thank
monster
you.
hunting component that you can get that can make you talk, or can help you talk to animals?
Become a warlock? Be a druid? There's plenty of ways.
I was wondering if there was a monster hunting component, though. Like a scale or claw or some shit like that.
But probably only let you do it like once a day.
I mean, it's still worth something at that point.
You might have to suffer 2 levels of exhaustion every time you do it.
Ooh.
I mean, it still might be worth it. Now I'm just looking through the monster hunting components sections and seeing if anybody lets me talk to animals. All right. Well, thanks, Timothy. We're off.
I was gonna say, I think everyone has done what they wanted to do, and while it's much less comical than an entire group of people disappearing right outside of the town gates, maple beer.
Hold on. Before we maple beer, does somebody meet us in the place that I had noted we'd be at?
Yeah. When you get back to the area right at the just one of the rooms inside the guild hall, both Rezi and Kel are there. Sort of, they'll turn to you as you walk in.
Ah, good. Kiljow, they're going to be joining us.
Okay.
You know, it's been a long day.
Please pardon the relocation, but I think it's better we talk about this outside of prying eyes.
Or outside of this reality.
Yeah.
Maple beer.
And
That
with
that should make
slight
them have some
popping sensation in
questions.
your ears, let me just make sure that they come with you. That's gonna be dupe. And nope, that's Joshua, not Rezi.
Yep. No, we have to have the white monster there.
Yep.
For those of you who don't know why he's called the white monster, too bad those episodes don't exist anymore. We weren't recording at that point.
Is the there we go.
I feel like I missed something.
Please
Nope,
let me
not the right
be
one.
there. Darn.
Alright, so who all is here that we see?
Right. So, as usual, when you come to the tavern, there's a random assortment of people because reasons. Over to the right of you, you see looks like a small goblin fiddling with some sort of mechanical device on the table.
I have to ask, because that's what the picture almost looks like. Does that goblin have rabbit ears?
No, but it has very large ears for a goblin.
Okay. I had to ask because they legitimately look like rabbit ears.
Yeah, no, goblins where you're from do not have ears that big.
Okay.
Just to the table to the north, you see again the Warforged, who is covered in bees and wax and honey. Speaking with a fire ganassi you'd seen previously, who has orange burning hair and charcoal gray to black skin.
That's the one that was making fun of what's his face, right?
Maybe?
Let me get the name.
Her name is...
That's the one that was making, I forget if it was mocking or ridiculing or making fun of Aster the one time.
Yeah. It's,
okay.
Lialeop Firefist. To the left of them, you see again this like satyr woman with a slim, revealing black dress, lots of tattoos, and very large horns covered in scrolls and bandages. Further to the left, you see a tabaxi, a man with his hood up and bandages covering his eyes, and a large humanoid rabbit, all sitting together talking somewhat animatedly. North of them, you see what you finally figured out was, in fact, a large insectoid woman speaking with Maria, who Sig met previously. as well as a almost Sphinx cat looking tabaxi or catfolk with black skin. The other table on the right side has the lizard folk with partially mechanical arms that you'd seen previously. One whole mechanical arm and one partially. Speaking with a light blue tiefling with sort of like wing-shaped horns. And at the bar you can distinctly see two individuals. One is a what almost looks like a white lizard folk or dragonborn, except for the fact that instead of legs he has a very long tail. And the other side of the bar you see looks like almost like a centaur, but the deer body instead of a horse one, and antlers on top of her head.
Okay. Then who is behind the bar at the moment?
Currently that would be names.
Yeah.
That would be Tindriel,
Okay.
who you'd recognize as having served you at your table before.
Yeah, I just wanted to get the name of who it was. I was gonna say that character art there looks a lot like Aster's character art.
No?
At least vaguely from 90% zoom. I mean, it's I can tell it's not Aster's character art, but it looks a little bit like him in terms of dress.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Is this Aster?
The purple one is Aster.
the purple one's Aster, yeah.
Kind of. There's sort of a gold theme going on.
I was seeing it more as like kind of like the astral type robe decor.
Oh yeah, no, that would make sense. Aster is a stars druid, and Quiet is a twilight cleric.
Makes sense.
Right. As you pop in, Chirp appears next to you. Would you all like a table, or would you prefer to seat yourself?
Oh, is Kakabiel here?
He is not in right now.
It's alright. If we can have a table with a little privacy, please.
Chirp sort of looks around, guides you over towards this table, moves some chairs over for you, which I'm not going to do because they're embedded in the map, and it's not worth it.
Yeah. Oh, Chirp, here, can you give these to Kakabiel? It's for part of a contract I have with them. And I will hand over the 7 bushels,
All right.
which is 14 gold.
Yep. Chirp sort of cocks his head at it. Of course I can.
Thank you.
Would you like me to let actually, hold on, this come out different. Would you like me to let Kakabiel know that you've arrived?
Yes, please. One of my friends is saying something about someone doing something with some kind of weird abyss magic, and I thought he might be able to answer some questions.
Starting to assume Sig is not in the wall. Course. And gone. Just turned around and, like,
Poof.
yeah. As you handed the bushels to him, he put them down and they're all gone.
Cool.
Okay. Okay. Does everybody recall the Sunken Temple mission where we had to face that thing at the very bottom before we were able to rescue Rezi and the rest of the research team?
Yep.
Yeah. No, that was
I
that
can
was,
still taste the mushrooms.
that was enjoyable.
The abomination, yeah.
Whatever created that abomination had something to do with the Zenogre and the Rampage.
Hey, Nysdrith, if they were working there, maybe they know where Heidi went. Oh God.
During the fight with the Zenogre, I was hit and knocked out. Something in the lightning of that Zenogre, hard for me to explain properly. It was a little difficult to understand Amun a little bit when he explained it to me, but it linked me up with the mind of whoever was behind it. And
Yeah.
considering the missing research notes and from before, I figured it'd be better and safer to talk about it here instead of at the guild.
Oh, can anyone dispel magic?
Nope. Not me.
That what?
Actually, never mind. That's not something Kiljow would be overly familiar with. Never mind. Actually, Taylor, I want to leave this up to you. Would Kiljow be familiar with the fact that with someone having impersonated him to take the research notes, that potentially, like, if we dispel magic on someone, if either the Rezi or the Kel talking to us is someone in, like, a magical disguise, that it would clear it?
You would know that's certainly possible. But not any of the intricacies of which situations that would actually help with.
Yeah.
Well, just like if they were using, like, some kind of
Us-
magical spell means to act as Rezi or Cal.
Right, that's something you would know is possible.
Okay. Can anyone actually can anyone dispel magic?
I can.
Is that Rezi?
That was
Yeah.
Rezi.
Same.
Could you dispel magic on Kel, and Sig, could you dispel magic on Rezi?
Wait, what? Are we dispelling magic on people?
Yes.
Well-
humor him.
Well, yeah, no, the person who took the research notes from the researchers' camp, those notes in the Ancients' language, was using magic to look like me. So just in case either of you are that person impersonating someone, so that information might not get out, or to know, like, who has the information.
Sure, whatever. Rezi waves his hands, mutters some stuff, and absolutely nothing changes.
Okay, I mean, as long as we know it's Rezi and Cal.
Mhm.
More of a safety precaution than anything else.
When I was knocked out and linked to the mind, I pretty much went through an entire nightmare that allowed me to share memories of this person, and apparently it's someone grief-stricken. They drove their son or student to death or something, and they were trying abyssal magic to get him back, making a a deal with something. He's missing his left arm when I was in the dream sequence. But his name is For's Animus. And I believe he was trying to make a deal with Dwergus.
Who's that?
The Chrysalis Prince.
So who's that?
I don't know much more than you. I was hoping
It's a man who welches on his debts, that's what.
for
Is that Kel saying that?
No, it's
Kaviel.
Kabiel, who
Oh.
has just appeared.
Hey! Hi, Kakavio.
You're just in the nick of time, Kaviel.
I assume this has something to do with what a moon sent to me.
Yeah, we figured your place would be a safe place to talk about it. We don't know who might be assuming the identity of anyone in the guild at the guild camp.
Well, assuming what a moon sent me was correct, then it's this For's Animus person.
Yes, exactly. Remind me to thank Amun again. If it wasn't for him, Bob pulling me out of that, I probably would have never woken up. Okay, that drawn out silence tells me I probably would have woken up with somebody different.
Well, it's not so much the waking up that was the issue, yes.
You would
Can
have
tell you
woken
a
up
bit
as a
about-
backup character.
I can tell you a bit about Dwergus, but not much. He's had a deal with me once and didn't fulfill his end of the bargain, and I haven't dealt with him since.
Apparently he's now making bargains with someone in our realm.
That's unlikely.
And how did I get his name?
Dwergus isn't just the name of the Chrysalis Prince. It's the name of the realm that he used to inhabit.
Oh. That's as much as I've gotten, but I'll start from the beginning. And Leo's going to talk through the entire dream sequence, and this was literally a one-off RP session because apparently Leo fulfilled certain conditions for this and nobody else did.
What's the condition? Getting K the fucked owed by the Zinogre?
Yes. Specifically, it's lightning.
Yup. That was Leo.
And the good news is we did record it and send it to Silent, so...
I just have to download it still.
Yeah, but that's pretty much going to be like a 1 hour or 1.5 hour thing.
Yep.
But to put it, the short and simple way, she was waking up in her room and in the kind of like the living quarters that she stays in, where most of the other felines stay at. Except it was extremely dilapidated, as if it had been years into the future and is like abandoned. Constantly raining, can't see far out, had no access to any of her warlock abilities. Okay. While exploring, having the, finding a certain room where she was hearing this invisible person pacing, which led to learning about the student or son or whichever that part was. Found the galley where she found, and I'm using quotes here, ketchup. it's not ketchup.
It's blood.
No. Literally, the galley head is named Chef Ketchup.
God damn it, Taylor.
He is Ketchup, Master Chef. Okay, but
It's funny because the original spelling of ketchup uses cat, so it's a pun too. Continue.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna leave that one for people to watch the YouTube video on. There was a small bit about Leo's guilt over murdering Matthew's colleagues that one time in the previous mission. But how it ended, well, let's put it this way: I almost got Corland.
I mean, it's
Like,
not quite the same.
As a playable character, or
I almost got Corland, as in what happened to him.
Okay.
Yeah, that
oh,
would have been
You almost
different.
made
so
us.
Taylor,
No, that would
Taylor,
have been quite different.
Taylor's airlifting my deity jacking.
No, it wasn't a deity jacking in this case. I'm talking about failing wisdom checks in this case.
Oh yeah, no, that sounds like Corland. That sounds a lot like Corland.
Corland's case was failing charisma checks.
Yeah, I mean, you know, failing checks sounds like Corland.
Yes. So, yeah. Let's just say, Leo is very lucky at the very last minute to finally get a wisdom save and get her tail pulled out of the nightmare. But it also is what influenced the fresh level in Warlock instead of Bard, like I originally had planned.
But do you know anything about this abyss magic that Leo's talking about, Kakabio?
Abyssal, but yeah.
It's not incredibly common on your plane of existence. Your connection to the abyssal planes is not very strong.
Apparently it's definitely getting stronger for somebody to really be accessing it. God. Leo's still rubbing her head as if she still has a bit of a headache from it all.
Right, I've heard what I need to.
I'm still a little confused myself. So, what is this abysmal magic and why is it so bad? I mean, aside from abyssal shit. But, like, legitimately, what are we looking at here?
You are aware of the abyss, but not the properties that magic drawing from it gives.
It isn't the abyss where the demons are?
Yes, abyssal magic is the magic of demons and of chaos.
Think of it like magic that warps. Kind of warps darkly, and not just on a level of perception, but also the mind as well. I think it's really bad stuff.
I guess what I'm more so curious about is if we're going to be fighting some dude who's got abyssal magic, as I don't know if I'm really gathering that from what you've told us so far, what are the good ways we can, protect ourselves from this shit? Because I'd rather not have a demon take up residence inside of me.
A meta answer? Counterspell. An in-character answer? I have no fucking idea.
That's why I'm asking Kakabio over here. He can give me the meta answer while still being in player.
Typically, protection from abyssal magics comes in the form either of some sort of divine provenance from the good gods of whatever reality you're in, or not encountering it.
Well, as it stands,
let's say we don't have divine providence from the good gods, but we're gonna probably be encountering it. What's our best solution?
It honestly depends on what exactly the magic is doing, but as I said, the best solution is not to engage with it. Finding a
well,
way to stop it before it actually gets to affect you. Any
Well-
sort of holy magic on your plane may also be helpful.
I don't know if there's much magic that I have from Bob that would help combat it.
Oh, you need something from Bahamut or Io or similar.
Would you be able to sell us holy magic?
Yes, though I'd imagine it would be more affordable to purchase items that contain holy magic.
I'm laughing at the purity of which Kiljow just straight up asked that question. Just not batting an eye. Can you sell it to us?
Kiljow, I'm gonna ask if he can give us magic that'll help us in our mission. What actually came out? Kirkabiel, can you make me a god?
Or inversely, can we make Akambherylliax a god?
Ha! That's not how that works.
But it could be.
No.
But we could
You would be
try.
weakening him by doing so.
Oh gosh, okay.
Gods are beings within a plane. Kirkabiel is, for all intents and purposes, the personification of a plane.
Mm-hmm.
Well, dude, how much would an item like that cost?
Well, it depends on what you want. There's, if you're not entirely familiar, there's various divine relics, items imbued with positive energy, holy water.
Oh, you mean like, oh, no. like that thing, the thingy?
What?
I know that's completely nondescript to everyone else, but Kakabio might know what I'm talking about.
What?
The item you're trying to retrieve pieces of, you mean?
Yeah, that one.
No, actually. That one is a wellspring of immense arcane magic. Slightly different in nature from divine magic on your realm.
Oh, okay.
I could also point you towards some places to purchase such items, but such discussions might be better had with clergy of the good-aligned gods in your realm.
I'll turn to Rezi and Cal. Do you know any of who any of the good aligned gods are?
I mean, there's the Bahamut, Io, Eldath, Pelor. Those are the big ones. There's Moradin, though he's more involved with dwarves.
I'm assuming this is like Cal and Rezi responding.
This is Cal.
Okay.
There's Ilmater.
Do you know if there are any people that serve them in the camp?
I know you've got some people that are clerics or holy warriors.
I mean, we were planning to go to the old world soon-ish. So would there be a temple there that we'd be able to visit?
Oh, there's temples in most of the major towns in the old world, yeah.
Okay, well, guys, maybe we could visit one of those temples when we head over there.
It's as good a plan as any.
So we're looking to recruit a cleric into our party, huh? All right, who's making
Pretty
the next
much.
character sheet?
Or a god, one of the two.
Hey, DM, can I put on the character sheet for no particular reason? What are they?
But what's funny is I do have a backup character, but they're built more as a druid.
That's the technical thing.
Oh yeah,
Jokes.
well I'm here.
Not actually.
Well, I'm here, Kakabiel, and I'll hand him 90 platinum. That's that's another 300 gold off my debt.
Right.
Pardon me, I have to correct myself. Swarmkeeper Ranger Monk.
Right.
Don't actually give me a
And
was
I
joking.
gave.
I don't know if you actually know that or not.
What?
What?
Don't actually give me a backup character. I don't know if you know I was joking or not.
No, I figured you were joking.
Oh, also, I gave Chirp the latest delivery of the Bloodstone fruit.
Of course.
I know. Hold up. I need to look at my notes so I don't forget this character's name. Hearth and I were making some good progress on working with it.
Ah, excellent.
I went and visited him for a few weeks over in his plane, and he was teaching me how to brew, and I was helping him start working with experimenting with some of the stuff with the fruits for making some wines.
Very good. Perhaps someday you'll end up making some of the drinks we serve here. Be
Oh,
quite
ho-
interesting.
Hopefully, I'm hoping to learn a lot from him.
Right. Well, I think I've tarried here long enough. Do let me know if any new developments on this come up. I find sometimes I have a good sense for when important matters may affect my realm.
Oh, absolutely. Matter of fact, we have another of the brooches, so we'll be able to get here much more often in case anything happens.
I could swear somehow you see this like reflective face full of stars and cosmos, and somehow it smiles. Very good. And
Why do I get an unsettling feeling about that?
just as a gesture of goodwill and a way to say good luck, snaps his fingers, and each of you has a large stein of mead in front of you.
Ugh.
These are on the house.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
he's
you
going
so
to try to
much.
back this up.
That's terrible.
Is it weird that our patron in this campaign is like a Plano devil?
I mean,
Eh.
eh.
He's a cool one. That's for sure.
You're just saying that because he gave you free mead.
Yeah, and I drink it.
Yep.
Mhm.
I sniff it first, then I take a very small sip.
It's
Like smack my lips, kind of wag my tongue a little bit.
it's very good. Actually, has almost sort of a tang, a zest to it.
So
Have any of you actually in real life? Have any of you ever had an orange blossom honey?
No, I haven't.
no.
I might have.
It's
Yes,
quite good,
it's
and
good.
it's what this meat is made with.
Okay. Out of
Yeah,
curiosity,
honey changes flavor based on what it's made with.
can Kikabio read minds?
Maybe.
All right.
Thought we established the answer was yes a while ago.
I'm pretty sure we did, because I was thinking something really bad, and he called me out on it.
Yeah, no, he can read minds if he wants to. He just typically doesn't unless he has a reason. But yeah, you guys have drinks. Get to relax a bit. Maybe even order some food if you want. Talk to some people.
I'll go ahead and cover Rezi and Kel, since I was the one who called them over for this.
Mm-hmm.
But it felt right just to get them over to this, to talk this one out with them there, and away from prying eyes, literally, given the whole situation with the notes being stolen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Just in case he's looking at what we're thinking.
what are you doing?
Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared.
We all are. We let him take us here again.
And I just go ahead and just chug the flagon that I was given.
Mm-hmm. I'm just going to order just something normal. If I see like one of Doombaker's pastries on the menu, I'm definitely going to order one of those.
You don't notice any of the ones that he showed you. There might still be pictures on there that are his, but none of them, are ones that you specifically know are from him.
Oh well, it was worth a shot.
Yeah.
What was the helping hands names again? Let's see here. We had
Chirp. Chirp is the one we saw when we came in.
Sure, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, yes. Let me see here. Hey, Chirp. Where are you? Oh shit, there you are.
I'm guessing he just kind of materializes next to us.
Yeah, when you ask for him, he's there.
Yeah, there you are. Ugh, you guys still scare me. Anyways, let me see here. Can I have a whatever equates to a bison 9-ounce steak, medium rare, garlic mashed potatoes, let's see here, and rum. Good old Bermudan rum.
Of course, sir. That will be 4 gold.
I just say it so robotically. Here you go.
Chirp opens his mouth and you hear a voice say, Keku are unable to form their own sentences and instead mimic the words of others.
Yeah.
That's haunting as shit.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah,
as you remember now, never when Chirp talks does his mouth movements line up with the actual words being said.
It's like watching an anime.
He
Yeah,
just opens his mouth and words come out.
At least an anime in dub.
Yeah.
Burn. I don't know if you guys could do this, but that steamed method I had was really, really good. Especially how it popped when I was eating it. I don't know if the chef would be able to do this, but would you be able to serve it almost like in crystallized chunks of meat, almost like hard rocks, like some kind of almost meaty, I don't know, like a popping rock? Yes, I am asking for steamed method pop rocks.
I can ask the chef.
Oh my god. Killjaw's going to die tonight.
I don't know what that is, but it'll be fun to watch.
I don't
All
know.
you need to know is Killjaw's going to die tonight.
I don't know what made me have that idea, but I love the idea now.
So he's the one who's going to be rolling up with the new cleric then for our party?
Oh no, I already have my backup character. It's a wizard.
Gentlemen, I will be right back.
Sounds like a potty break.
Yeah, no, my backup character is already made. It is. Oh, I need to level it up 1 or 2 more times, but it is a blade singer wizard. So basically the exact same role, ironically, that I'm playing right now. Squishy frontliner, but with a bit more ranged potential.
Hmm.
Yeah, I still don't know what I'm really doing for my backup. 1 or 2 ideas kind of floating around in the back of the head there.
Right.
But neither of them, or none of them, are a cleric. So, we're screwed when we actually go after this guy and need to fight Abyssal shit.
Unless I die first. And then I have counterspell.
Right. So what are the rest of you ordering?
Oh, right.
Wild mushroom stew over rice.
Of course, sir. That will be 15 silver.
Just so I can mark it
Alright,
on...
get it now.
Just so I can mark it on my character sheet, how much does the steamed method pop rocks cost?
You don't know yet. Chirp still has to ask the chef if they can even make it.
Okay. I was gonna mark it off on my character sheet.
Oh, in a meta sense, 2 gold.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I don't know why I thought of that idea, but the more I think about that idea, the more I like that idea.
Alright.
All right. Jacob, what does Leo order?
I think Jacob is BRB.
Still stepping out.
Ah. All right. Illiren, what does Sig order? Wait, no, is that him coming back? But also, you can totally.
Well, Sig already ordered the mushroom soup over rice.
All right. Brain
Stew,
fart.
sorry,
Yeah.
stew.
No. So we were just waiting for Jacob to come back.
I am back.
Okay. What are?
What would be
you-
good for a headache?
I mean, there's not a hangover, not really.
Advil.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
After having brain invaded.
Leafy grains and fish tend to be best, particularly fatty fish, I guess.
Advil.
Turmeric and certain other spices are also good for anti-inflammatory, but I don't think that really covers the situation quite well enough.
Hmm.
Yeah. What I'm trying to do is figure out a good meal to have that will help clear that.
Probably just like comfort food at that point.
Shoot, what would be a good comfort food for Leo?
Something with a lot of ketchup.
Taylor, I will kill you. Baked chicken, roasted potatoes, some greens. And a very large mug of ale.
All right.
You know, usually those cause headaches, not cure them.
And
I'll
Resi
deal with
orders
it in the morning.
a bit of a pot roast type dish. Kel orders some mashed potatoes, collard greens, and pork chops. Total comes out to about 1 gold, 5 silver.
I do apologize calling y'all over like that without really explaining things until we got here. But it felt like the safest thing to do.
Honestly, I think that you were right to do it. It's information that might not be the best if it gets out to the people that were already trying to infiltrate our area.
I'm probably going to take some time to recover. That nightmare was... It was a lot to take in.
All right. You all watch as Chirp walks over to the man at the bar. Says some things to him. Talks with him for a minute. Comes back. Turns to Kiljow. The chef will be able to make that. It will cost 7 gold.
Okay, let me change my mark off on my character sheet. So it's 5 more gold. Oh, alright, thank you.
Of course.
You said 7 instead of 2, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And Chirp is suddenly gone again.
Boof.
I kid.
I mean, just look at it this way. It's one more person that can pop up behind you and scare you.
Oh.
All right. After about 20 minutes or so, you all see actually Chirp carrying a large set of trays, some of which seem to be just levitating around him. As he comes down the stairs. And sort of makes his way over to you. Starts handing out food. Everyone gets what they ordered. Kiljow, in particular, you get what looks like a plate of pebbles. or small gravel.
Oh no.
I pick up a handful and toss them in my mouth.
Okay, roll me a con saving throw.
Oh no.
7.
Okay. You take 11 fire damage as you throw these into your mouth, and all the steam from the steam method parts suddenly burst out in an explosion exactly as you had asked.
Perfect. I toss another handful in my mouth.
Okay, give me another con save.
Okay. 6.
7 more fire damage. This is exactly what you expected.
I mean, is it like a bunch of popping and whatnot as I'm eating them? And it tastes like the steamed method dish?
It tastes like the steamed method dish, but from what you described, translated to what the chef actually did, was instead of making pop rocks, he took a piece of the method dish, crystallized it inside a rock, and when it goes in your mouth, it explodes.
Yeah, no, it's close enough. I'll eat the rest of the dish.
Okay, give me one more con save.
12! I'm good at these.
Okay, it's still very hot, but you don't actually take damage from it for the rest of it. You're like, oh, this is how this works, and eat it in a manner that is not going to kill you.
Wonderful. I need to get this again. This is really good.
Hey, Leo,
Yeah?
it didn't work.
What?
Do you want some? They're really good.
Who, me? No.
No, I'm good.
Hey, Rizzy, do you want some?
I can try a
He's
piece.
waving behind Killjaw's head like, no, don't do it.
And Rezi picks up one of the rocks and puts it in his mouth. And you see just like a puff of steam come out of his ears.
Isn't it really good?
Oh yeah, that actually tastes pretty good.
I'm hugging my cat now.
Oh, Rezzy's best NPC. Yeah, apparently it's made from, like they took the steamed method dish, which I'm not sure if it's steamed method or steamed steam method. But they crystallized it into little rocks. I wonder if that's something we could do at the camp.
We could certainly try to do something like that. Don't know how much reason we'd have to actually do it. And I'm pretty sure this is steam method, not steamed method. Trust me, I just know.
I mean, it would be another food source.
Not really. There's a lot that goes into summoning elementals, and it's easier to just make food.
Kiljow like takes another handful and shoves into his mouth. It's like popping and exploding, but it's really good. I think a lot of people would really enjoy this.
Well, maybe, but it's not exactly a big, great food source for a lot of people. Just like a novelty thing, maybe?
I mean, maybe if we made it like once in a while, we might be able to sell it and raise some funds for the researchers camp.
I think we get enough funds as it is. I don't really know that we need to sell anything for it, but it would be fun to make once in a while.
Oh, that's fair.
God, I'm scared for this world.
It's
As I'm just munching on my steak.
It's Killjaw's idea of a bake sale.
Hey, mushrooms.
That's probably the appropriate response, Illiren. Oh, I love playing Killjaw. I have every excuse to be smart and dumb as bricks all at once, and it's wonderful.
Alright, so yeah, you guys able to get your food, have a bit of relaxation after the largely stressful day you've had.
Oh, thank God, on a nice warm bed.
Alright, Kiljow, you mentioned wanting to go to the old world.
Oh yeah, no, I was gonna go to the old world to get some information there. Let me open up my notes here. Just a couple of things that Kakabio asked me to do. I'm looking for someone who they indicated a good place to start looking would be in Lialeop City. And there's from the information I gathered, an individual named Timothy Wellworth in Mindguard, who would be able to tell me potentially a good place to try to mine silver blood ore. It's apparently a type of metal that reacts to lodestones. It's about a 3-week journey to Mindguard and about 6 weeks of sailing, and then another crossing the desert to get to Lialeop City, or 5 months of sailing. So I think Mindguard would probably be the best bet to head there. But I mean, if we go there, and I'm able to get that information on where to get the silver blood ore, and then another 800-ish gold for Kakabio, I'd be able to completely pay off the contract, and he'd be able to tell us where Baal's shrine is in the old world, as well as a lot of information about it, like who we might encounter there, guards, etc. So that we can go destroy it.
We might be able to also look into leads in regards to this Force character as well. I've got a bad feeling if we just leave this alone, it's really going to get ahead of us.
Well, I mean, you were talking about the person from the dream?
Yeah.
But I mean, if we catch up with them, what are we gonna do?
It's a good question.
My guess is die?
That seems about right, yeah.
I mean, we could start asking at some of the big temples, at some of the good aligned god people things, if they have any magic they want to give us.
True. Or at least some leads to an artifact that we could obtain to fight against us.
Well, I mean,
It could also be about just somebody starting to date a cleric or something like that.
I'm sure if we went to their temple and they explained what we were trying to do, they'd just give it to us, right?
Definitely not.
There are some temples who are greedier than others, depending on who is who's shall we say, the lead cleric. Unfortunately, not all religions, despite how good they are good.
Mm-hmm.
That also might require us to become part of their temple, which might not be something that some of us will be able to do.
Or replace whoever's in charge.
Who's the enemy of Baal? Like, what of the good gods don't like Baal?
Yes.
Go ahead and give me a religion roll.
Don't worry, guys.
would
I'm great at religion.
Would I know this?
You might, actually.
Flash of Genius 20.
Let me give you a religion roll from Kiljow, because I'm good at these. Yeah, that seems right.
I have a 20. Because Flash Genius. Okay.
Right. So, as one of the trio of deities typically involved with death, that's only involved with the killing process, Ball is not really liked by a lot of people. Kiljow, that's about as much as you get. You know
So the answer Kiljow knows is yes.
That the priest of Ball would, talk occasionally about like, oh, everybody wants to stop Ball, everybody hates Ball, but we need to worship him more.
He's basically like the head priest of Ball would basically be like enemy like number like 2 or 3.
Sorry, repeat that. My brain just.
I said like whoever the head priest of Ball is, and the higher ups would be like basically enemy number like 2 or 3 of the world.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, no, that seems about right.
Bane and Merkul tend to be like his allies, but otherwise he's not really liked by anyone. Even the other evil gods, they tend to have very specific relationships with certain other gods, and then nothing else is good. Pretty much all of the good gods hate Ball, as they see some of the evil gods like Merkul or Bane or things like that as possibly sort of a necessary evil, or like at least capable of being reasoned with.
And Ball is just murder more.
Ball is completely insane and likes to murder things. That's literally his entire his thing. Yeah, honestly, his teachings are bad for pretty much everyone. Sig would know that in particular, Helm, Ilmater, Lathander, Tyr, any of the gods that are typically associated with just pure goodness or life are especially opposed to him, but in general, none of the good gods like Ball. And most of the evil ones don't either.
So basically, if we got this information, we could probably raise an army.
Lathander, Tyr. Honestly, we could very well, if you get the information about where Ball's main church is, and our actual goal of basically just raising it to the ground, very likely you could get a bunch of people on his side, and probably even leverage from them holding magic to deal with, how do you pronounce his name? The other guy?
Ball.
No, the
Not
guy
Ball.
from Jacob's stream.
Oh.
Forms Omnis? Omnis? How do you write that? Forms Omnis?
Actually, that's a pretty good point. I mean, basically, you can say, hey, we know where to find the Temple of Baal at. You guys help us kill off this other dude, and we'll give you all that information, and you guys can go wipe him the bleep out.
Yeah, no,
Almost wrote it right.
realistically, Kiljow would get the 500 from, once we get the source of the silver blood information, he passes that on to Kabiel. That would bring me up to 3206, and I would need 94, so 794 gold worth of credit, which would be 2,382 platinum. No, 2,382 gold and that would pay off the full 4,000 for the info. Because Kakabiel offered Kiljow 2 versions of info, either just the location for 1,000 gold, or the location plus a bunch of really important intel for, like, actually, like, storming the place and wiping it out for 4,000. And I'm at almost 3,000 gold worth of debt paid for the good information.
Hey, don't we have like a world map? Or is that not actually a thing yet?
I think Taylor made it.
I got the one from Ammowin's. If you
It's okay.
want to look at it, I can certainly move you over there. Yeah, let's
I
see
mean-
that real quick.
If you can, that'd be nice. Okay. Ooh. I love it. So,
Yeah, you did a really good job with the map, Taylor.
No, Ammowin made this one.
I
it's
know.
a good map. It's a nice map.
It is a really good map, though. It's the type of map I would see Taylor making.
Mm-hmm.
I like the wetlands. Oh, right.
Right, so just as a
So-
point of reference real quick.
This is, this is Mindguard
That's-
here.
Yeah, and the frontier is, like the east end of the frontier is just a bit off the map to the left there.
Yeah, the other city, if I completed that mission, it would completely pay off the debt immediately, but that's all the way down here, and that would be 6 months of, like, pure sailing around the coast, or 5 months of pure sailing around the coast, or,
Mhm.
6 weeks of sailing to, like, Valhabar, and then trying to cross a desert.
You know what? For some reason, I really don't like the idea of crossing a desert.
Neither do I.
Die.
In character or out of character.
Yeah, y'all have some experience with deserts.
No, I don't.
A particular desert.
My last experience with the desert was getting lost and digging a hole in the sand. It sucked.
I believe you.
I've been working on trying to get myself a flying airship, but it's a slow process to learn how to make one myself.
That's why we're
You
working at
guys
the
could-
airship place.
Yeah, you guys could try and,
Commission one.
well, yeah, you could either commission one or you could just hire somebody to sail you in an airship to Locklag City.
Yeah.
It's an option you have.
And we could realistically probably take the 3 weeks by boat to Mindguard, do the stuff there, talk to whoever the big temple is there, and then hire an airship from Mindguard to Locklack, and it would be a lot cheaper, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And realistically, if we're looking for the main temples, we may have to go to Locklack anyways, or Dundorma.
Mindguard's a Mindguard and Verudo are both reasonably large settlements as well. They would have a lot of temples.
Yeah, but I mean, if we get, if we get the information, we're trying to actually like raise an army, like going to the main city of Dundorma and talking to whoever's like actually in charge of the temple would probably be the better option.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look. Middle Earth bled into the map a bit.
How do you mean?
Misty Peaks.
At least one person got it.
Well, I couldn't see what you were pointing to.
Oh.
in the back of my mind, I know it's require like a lot of favors and luck to try to actually get audience with anyone from a church that would listen to us. But I've learned to trust in Kildraw's luck at this point.
So, guys, an interdimensional devil told me where to find the Temple of Baal. We want to go raise it to the ground. Can you talk to us? I think that might get their attention.
It'll get someone's attention, yeah.
Attention, yes. Yep. Right.
But I assume we have
So-
downtime we want to do before we take off.
I mean, we're probably going to want to sell any of the Rampage materials that we're not keeping.
Yeah, so you said...
I
Dan,
haven't made any claims yet, but I know Dan did.
I have three actual materials that I set aside, and I also grabbed the malachite ore to set that aside for the party or so.
yeah, I think you said the Nargacuga tail
Nargacuga tail,
and the...
Wrath wing talon.
Oh, you do want to keep that?
It sounded like it could be. It sounds like it could be useful to somebody, unless literally nobody really has any desire for it.
I have one in my armor already, so if no one else wants it...
I have no idea what we're talking about in the slightest.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Rampage
Sig, go look in the
material.
handouts in the character sheet tab.
Characters.
Yeah, so, no, if you look at the tab that has all the
Oh,
characters and
handouts.
stuff, yeah, go down to handouts, Rampage materials. These are the materials you were able to get from the monsters that you killed.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
What was the third one, Dan?
Sorry, the third one was the Great Izuchi tail.
It is
It's pretty great.
tail. So that would be CR3, which is... Alright, so with those two taken out, the total value base of all the materials is 3180.
That's selling off the Wrath wing talon.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and take that out of my. Oh, come on.
If no one wants it. Again, like
Yeah.
the weapon effect is cool, but it's not a very high con save to clear the poison for the insta kill. And
I was looking more at the ability to cast haste, but getting 2 levels of exhaustion just isn't worth it to me.
yeah, like it's really good for Kiljow, but I'm not sure about for other people.
Nope.
All right, well, I'm okay with selling that. Like I said, I wanted to save the malachite ore because you can use that to upgrade rare weapons, or 2 rare weapons.
Yep.
So, and I've already got 5 monster fluids that I guess I can use for upgrading weapons or armor to rare.
So anything else that would be really good?
Alright. I didn't really see much anything I wanted to get. Maybe the Nargacuga Fang, since it'll allow me to carry more Pierce and cluster ammo.
Don't you
Plus-
already have one of those, though?
Question
No.
to Taylor.
Okay.
Can we only bring a one trinket, or can we bring both and switch between them on the hunt during a rest?
When you attune to 2 trinkets, but you can only have one active at a time, and you can switch between them during a short or long rest, yes.
Alright, so
That's the whole point of the trinkets. It's
let's
the
see,
flexible one.
that's the 11s, the 8s, the 7s, the 6s. I want to keep a Basarios shell for my second trinket. Because that would allow me to get advantage on stealth checks in rocky terrain. Which would be good for scouting.
Right. I put us back to the tavern or camp. Do you guys want to do any more tavern RP, or would you rather go to, say, like, talk to some people, had a good time, went to sleep, went back to camp the next morning, and started doing downtime stuff?
I'm
I'd
good.
say the latter, but
Yeah, I'm good with bypassing the RP this time.
Mm-hmm.
Bypass.
We did the RP we were really there to do, which was with Kakabio.
Mm-hmm.
It was more of a functional visit over a pleasure visit this time.
Phrases I never expected to hear growing up.
Okay,
Pleasure visit.
you know what I mean.
Who's pleasuring who now?
Yes.
Yeah. Have there been any side effects of any of the other stuff I did for Kakabio?
Yes, though I think you didn't notice them.
Okay.
Puke, I want the Puke scale.
Would anyone in the
I have
party have noticed them? Specifically, the one I'm thinking of would be the two, three, the fifth, the first crossed off one.
Oh, you guys already had the side effect of that one.
Oh, did we?
Yeah. That was shortly before the researchers asked when you were going to get the notes back to them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yep.
What happened again?
So, the fifth item, when you did that on the day that you ensured that Alpha was not there, something happened, and then later, the researchers were like, when are you going to bring us our notes back?
Ah, okay. Interesting as player knowledge. Too bad that no characters are able to put two and two together.
There's also one that you, Kiljow, specifically heard about the result, but you didn't, I don't believe, realize what it meant.
I don't think so. You willing to tell me for player knowledge?
You overheard something about Mabina being missing?
I had not heard that, no.
I told you that.
I don't think you ever did.
Something about, like, Mabina's party going out looking for her. Or doing something for her, one of the two.
No, last I heard is that they were out on a hunt
Huh.
Yeah, you never mentioned that to me.
I thought that's what I said, but yes, you would have previously heard someone saying essentially that they're going to try to find Mabina, who had mysteriously disappeared.
Yeah, no, if I'd heard about that, I would have probably asked Kakabiel about that.
But do you want to retroactively ask him about it at this visit?
Sure, yeah. I think Kiljow would ask.
Okay. Well, what clients do with the items I give them is none of my business. Not really.
Well, do you know if she's safe or not?
By some definitions of the word, yes.
Can you tell me who the client was?
That would cost you.
How much would it cost?
Given the amount that was put in, as well as some other arrangements that were made, roughly 5,000 gold.
I think we have a good handle on the holy items. Magic. Okay. Are you able to have people work here for you after they die?
Yes.
Would I be able to pay that in years of work?
Possibly. The issue I have is that given your current course of actions, not entirely guaranteed that your soul would be retrievable.
Well, I mean, I think if we're gonna, we haven't had the have we had the discussion at this point of going to the temples to raise an army?
Yeah, this is. Let's just say it's after you've talked about that.
Like, I think when we're gonna be attacking the temple of Baal, we're gonna be trying to raise a full army to go assault it. So I mean that should at least add a little bit of security. It's less likely that something that would make my soul unretrievable would happen directly to me, and not potentially bigger targets.
Tell you what. I'll accept your terms. However, I can only give you a name. Anything else risks breaking into the contract.
I mean, that would be good enough.
The comb was procured for a being named Mavis the Wise.
Let me go to my notes here. Where is Mabina? Here she is. Got. Just gonna write mapped by. I don't know if I'm spelling this correctly.
I put it into chat.
Oh, Mavis the Wise. I typed in Mabina again.
Mabina, kidnapped by Mabina. Plot twist.
Kidnapped by Mavis the Wise. Okay.
Oh,
And Kiljow has now sold his soul to Akambherylliax after he dies. It was bound to happen eventually.
he sold his labor to Kakabiel, not his soul.
Yeah, that's fair.
He sold some of his afterlife.
Yep.
I mean, to be fair here, Kakavio doesn't exactly seem like the worst person to, owe a job to.
Nope.
I like how it made a character where it's like, this person's a devil that makes deals for gold and souls. But he seems pretty okay. So
Yeah.
whatever.
It could be worse.
I don't think it could be, but,
No, it definitely
On
could
the
be.
one hand, you could go through an eternity of pain and suffering and just absolutely horrible things. And on the other hand, you could go to hell.
Or you could work at a tavern.
No, that's the joke was the first one. Customer service is okay.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, yeah.
I was there. You were close.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's fine with your current direction. You'd probably end up working as a brewer instead of a waiter.
Yeah, I'd honestly, I'd probably just keep working with Hearth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably just keep working with Hearth.
There's definitely an element of the reason he agreed to this is he knows you'll be a good worker and be okay with it.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Alright, so are they gone when we return?
Or what gone? Who gone?
Avara's party.
The ones who were gone previously? No, yeah. No,
Mabina's-
if you check, if you check when you get back, they're still gone. And it's been about a month and a half since the last time you asked about them.
Okay, I'll have something I want to do. Yeah, let the rest of the party decide what they want to do with some more downtime before I deal with that. There are gonna be checks and rolls having to be made for this.
All right. So, presuming a bit of downtime at least, what does everybody wish to accomplish? Sales must be made if you want money for your stuff.
Alright.
Who's in charge of that again? Leo. Leo, you're in charge of selling shit.
Yup. Yeah, I didn't really see
So-
anything that caught my eye this time around. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and go with selling. So, how many items am I selling?
You can sell 10 in a week. My
Mhm.
suggestion is just pick 10, sell them, and then pick 10, sell them, etc.
Okay.
Largely, you'll be fine unless you get a nat 1.
Alright. Okay, just to confirm, the Nergakuga tail's been claimed, right?
I have that one set aside, yes.
Has
Where
the
did I
belt
put
and the
my-
fang been claimed?
No, the Fang has not been claimed, at least not by me.
Why
No,
I'm asking
the-
everybody in general.
The Great Azuchi item has been claimed, the Basarius shell has been claimed, and the Narku tail has been claimed. There are 2 CR11 materials, 3 CR8 materials.
Hold on. Okay, repeat how many CR what and what again?
Alright, there are 2 CR11 materials.
Okay, 2 of those.
And I just want to make sure I did this right, so give me
Mm-hmm.
a second while I open everything back up.
Thank you.
Yeah, 6 and 7 are the same CR for price. So yeah, there are 2 CR 1011 materials. There are 3 CR 89 materials.
Mm-hmm.
There are 11. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, there are 9 CR 6 and 7 materials.
Okay, so you can sell 5 of those in that same set, which brings the total to
Let me
2250 base for the first week's sales.
do this here. I'm gonna put 4.
Jumping ahead of me there, but okay.
I'm gonna put 4 for that, and 5 of those. So the total price of these would be $22.50. At base price value.
I just posted it in chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. I was doing it
Hey,
in
Do we want me to roll to see if I get us a better price?
You have to.
Yeah?
Here we go.
If you're selling things, you roll. That's the rule.
Well, he was
Your
asking
current-
because he was waiting for everybody to settle down a little bit.
Yeah.
Since
And,
everybody's kind of jumping ahead of me, and I is like, okay, all I'm gonna do is roll then.
You know what? Nat 20. Double price.
Yay!
You get 4,500
Yeah.
gold.
Yes.
4,500?
Wait.
Yep.
Cool.
All right. So the second week.
How many of the
still have-
CRs 6 and 7 are left?
4.
Okay.
What else do we have left to sell? Or is that it?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'd be able to sell 4 of those at 100, 3 at 50, and 3 at 25.
It's not telling me much, but okay.
Well, yeah, you could. I think you're missing something here, Silent. There's a number column for how many of the item you got.
No, I'm not. I don't think so.
Because there's for the CR3, there's 5 items just from the Great Azuchis.
Yeah, I know. There are CR2 and 3 is 25 gold, and we have 10 items in total, I believe.
Oh,
2,
that's what you
3,
mean. Okay.
4, 5,
Yeah.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, we actually have 11, so we have 8 left over.
Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and just completely simplify this down because I'm getting a headache with this. We have 4 left of the CR6-7. Okay.
Correct.
Yep.
How many 4-5s do we have left? I don't want it split up into how many per week.
3.
Thank you. How many of the 2 3s?
Selling 3, remaining 8.
11. Thank you. And then how many of the CR1-01s?
6.
6, yeah.
Thank you. Okay, I'm the one selling. Let me do things.
That's fine. We both already had all of the information on hand, counted up.
Except y'all are jumping ahead of me when I'm the one doing the selling of the sword, and it's like I'm trying to get this information down and
Yeah,
confusing
that's
the
a
holy
fair
hishi
point.
nuts out of me. So we're only able to sell 3 more of the CR2s. We'd have 8 left, so second week of the 4 CR6, 3 CR4s, 3 CR3s. Okay.
Yep, 625.
All right. Yep, that's 150%. 937 gold. Rounded up to 38. 938 gold.
Okay.
Okay. Oh.
We have 8 CR2 3s, and then we can sell 2 CR01s.
Taylor, would it be possible just to combine all the 0-1s as their own group, just to make this 1 week of selling the rest? Since they're such a low cost item.
How many total items do you have left to sell at this
14.
point? 14? Yeah, you know what, sure.
Okay.
It's a package that says roguey stuff, and it's just got things thrown in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh!
Ow!
Oh no!
Honestly, no. This is not. This is good. This is okay.
Yeah, you rolled a
Because
12
this
on
is the low
persuasion,
end shit.
so yeah, you get exactly the amount of money it's worth.
Which is
And that's it.
230.
Mhm.
So a total of 5,668.
Very nice.
Cool. Split it 4 ways. That's 14.17 each. Pretty good haul there.
Mm-hmm.
17. 54.
Oh, you know what we never did? Before we continue with any more of the downtime stuff, you guys still need to talk to the thing.
Yes, when we get back, that was my next thing to do. I was probably gonna make it part of the
Right.
first week, but we were getting all the sales done.
Right. Yeah.
14.
Okay, 28.49.
So,
Alright, and that's 3 weeks worth.
Where'd my other notes go? I had some other notes on this. That was no, that's not it. Okay. I can't find my notes for creature taming.
I think I still have that.
Because I know that's going to come up.
Hmm.
I quickly run over to the money house and get a lot of that gold changed out for platinum.
Yeah, taming 50 to be tame, another 100 to be combat ready, and an additional 14 after that for every trick and or command you want to teach.
Okay.
And I don't
Okay.
remember how much you had. I believe you had me roll animal handling for the points added each week.
Yeah.
All right, Leo, don't you want to talk to the Viper Tobikatashi before I start training it?
Yes.
All right.
Okie dokie. So, I guess that is the next step there. So,
This is
during
during, thing. Doesn't really
yeah,
matter very much.
during the first week, after a day's rest at least, Leo will go and visit their new friend. Hopefully,
Quite friend yet.
new hopeful friend.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Oh. Okay. For some reason my head's just not right. This right here. Okay. Pardon me. I hope that you've been everything has been comfortable while you've been with us. Are you all right?
I am fine. Why do you keep me here?
we wanted to ask a few questions. See, the rampage that you were a part of was very strange. We wanted to find out from you what may have caused you to go wild as you did. Do you remember anything that may have happened before the rampage the other day?
Do you mean the thing where we all were running through your structures?
Yes.
Oh, that very simple. It's just that large creature was chasing us.
So it was instigating by attacking everyone around then. And it was being very direct and trying to lead you towards our camp?
It was chasing us.
Do you... I understand if you may not have been able to understand it, but did it say anything that you could understand?
No, it did not say anything.
Okay. Nothing else odd about it that you can recall aside from its strange coloration and the lightning?
I cannot think of anything.
My friend Nysdrith here was the one who pulled you away from the fight, after you were knocked out. I understand if you do not wish to stay with us, but we'd like to offer you the ability to stay with us and possibly assist in finding out the cause of this creature. It seems as though it was affected by magic, not like anything we've seen here in these realms. We wanted to see if you'd be willing to help us in hunting down whoever it is that caused this creature to chase you.
Will you let me kill things?
Oh, indubitably.
Yes. In fact, Nysdrith here, he would be the one who'd be working directly with you to help kill and hunt.
Then yes.
She'll look to Nysdrith. He's agreed. He'll stay.
Wait.
All right. If you have anything you'd like to request, feel free to. Who was the gentleman that we met?
Timothy?
Timothy. Please let Timothy know. And Nysdrith will be along every now and then. But we will be heading out for a hunt here in the coming weeks.
Okay.
Okay. Until then, please. We hope that you remain comfortable with us. All right. That did not offer any additional information whatsoever.
I was gonna say that didn't tell us jack shit.
They were
Oh,
running for their lives. What did you think was going to happen?
Well, that was it. And that is pretty much the primary reason of the rampage. The Zinogre was chasing them. The Zinogre had gone wild.
Huh.
Which is new information. It means this Zinogre wasn't created, so to speak. It's possible it was afflicted by the abyssal magic and went wild.
I feel like you're extrapolating some things here that weren't really said.
Possibly.
Yeah.
But
It could have just been freed,
that
turned loose.
release. That too. But
Or purposefully set to incite a rampage.
it's still information though.
It's like that creature we encountered out in the ocean. We don't know why it was attacking the ship. We just know that it attacked the ship, and then we killed it.
And that it just did jack shit because it was undead.
No,
Because that was the first thing I tried to command, and it didn't listen.
did the Zinogre listen to your command?
No, the Zinogre took me out before I could command it.
So we have no idea.
Neo
If the,
goes sleep.
we have no idea
Mhm.
if the Zinogre was undead or not.
Correct.
Hmm.
But based on data we may already have, it's
Likely.
possible likely. I'm not going to say safe to assume, but it is definitely likely.
Yeah, we need to wait for Sig to investigate the Zinogre melty goo.
Mm-hmm. Also, let me know when I could do my wondrous bag rolls.
We should. Let's do those now, and then we'll swap to someone else doing their downtime, and then see if
Mhm.
more time is needed.
So I got 3 weeks worth. It's 2 pulls per week. So first week,
Let me.
oh good, the bag didn't eat itself yet. Words you never thought you'd hear.
93 and 57. Let's see.
Hey, Snickers. No. Was 57 one of the numbers you were wanting me to get?
No, okay. Oh, this is perfect. Okay. Yes. So, on the first time you do this, you reach in and you pull out an egg. It's rather large, not as big as some of the ones you found in the egg hunt. But after a bit of conferring with the researchers at the camp, you realize this is a blue dragon egg.
I'm sorry, what?
No! Quick question. Is there, like, sand or, like, glass particulates?
No, it's pristine and clean and... Well, the researchers say they can, like, take care of it so it doesn't die. Let it incubate.
Yes, let it incubate, and if a blue dragon comes, we give it back.
Or we
Mhm.
keep it as a pet.
Should we alert?
Sorry, Toby Kadashi, you've been replaced.
Should we alert the researchers to the fact that this bag seems to take things not from, like, nothing, but from somewhere else, and that there's a blue dragon that we know of living in the
Oh, I'm pretty sure
desert.
we've already notified them of the blue dragon living in the desert.
So
Yeah, they'll-
maybe we should ask them to make sure that it didn't get taken from that blue dragon, and that if it did, we give it back.
Oh, I already said if a blue dragon comes, we give it back. It explained it was a mistake. That this was an accident. Was
Right,
not
for the
meant-
second roll, you reach in, you pull out a pair of what looks like almost like red glass shoes.
The fuck?
You got the ruby
Uh,
slippers.
We go into
Yeah, you got ruby
Oz,
slippers.
bitch!
You now have a pair of ruby slippers, designed, of course, for a full-sized human and not a feline. But
We're going to
Oh.
Oz!
I'm gonna do detect magic. Are these ruby slippers magical?
nope.
Oh,
I just
that's
imagine
good.
Kiljow saying that we're going to Oz, and Rezi shows up in like a sun hat and a Hawaiian shirt. We're going to Oz, yeah.
God, Julia's gonna go. Nope. They're not magical. False alarm.
No, wait.
Nope.
Let them try. Click those heels together 3 times.
None of you know anything about the Wizard of Oz.
Uh-oh.
Kiljow will put on the slippers and click his heels 3 times.
Second week. Oh no.
Do I go to Oz?
What's the scene on that?
Do I have to roll for Oz?
No.
I'm disappointed.
Okay, so for that first roll, you reach in, and you feel something almost like a very thick rope, and you tug it out, and You are now holding a giant rat by the tail. It bites you.
Ooh, dinner.
Grr. You said it bites me?
You just grabbed its tail and yanked it through space-time. It's a little cranky. You are now holding a well-roasted rat.
I was not amused.
It had 7 hit points.
Well, it should not have bit me.
Oh, what's going on? I know something's grabbing me. Bite it.
Leo's gonna toss the rat to Nysdrith. You said you wanted lunch?
Yummy.
Oh my god.
All right. The second roll,
Okay.
you reach in and you pull out this long strip of cloth, and you get a nice black silk scarf.
Ooh. Detect magic.
It is not magical.
Damn.
Was the rat magical?
We will never know.
Not
The
anymore.
rat's dead. And by now, in Nysdrith's gut, it probably passed on to the toilet.
Not yet.
I mean, who knows if the rat like had the ability to like make gold? Maybe Nysdrith can make gold now. Hey, Nysdrith, can you make gold?
Not yet.
Ah.
I'll let you know when I start pooping.
Okay.
Anyway,
Now that Jacob is sick of our shit.
last week.
Oh, so much fun.
Oh,
Nice.
hey, Jacob rolled a 69. Nice.
Nice.
You pull
Well,
out-
it is pretty nice.
I hope so.
Make me a con save.
Oh
Oh,
god.
God damn it.
Wait, I thought you said it was nice, not save inducing.
Oh, so you
Oh,
reach in the
no.
bag and you feel like a sharp pain in your finger, and this like waspy-looking insect flies out and just into the sky, and your
Ow.
body locks up and you fall over. You're paralyzed and poisoned for 1 hour.
No, it's more like internal screaming.
Hold up. Hold up. Because we're there with him, right?
Yeah,
Let
with
me-
her. You are there with Leo. You see Leo just locks up and like tilts over like a statue.
Wait, where did it go?
It's all being done at the researchers' camp.
I think I had it in my inventory at one point and put it away and never updated.
Can I try to shoot the wasp down with a firebolt?
Before
On
he
its way out, sure.
can
Wait.
shoot it down, I want to try to catch it in a bug net.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Roll survival.
22.
Okay. You catch it in a bug net. You now have a net with a very angry, very venomous insect in it.
All right. Hey, I'll leave getting it out and researching it to you guys.
It's a good plan.
How are you keeping it in the net at the moment?
You just flip the net upside down, basically.
Yeah, the net's just
So
like
the-
the rim of the net's like on the ground, and the bug is trapped in the net.
well,
Okay.
the net's flipped over the rim, basically. Bug can't get out that way. That's what you do it with
Yeah.
those bug-
Yeah, no, that's
Bug
fine.
nets.
I just know some people are like, I'm gonna catch this bug, and then hold it shut with their hand.
Oh,
Oh yeah, no, like it's against the ground.
Okay. Then yeah, they can try and figure out what it's doing here, what it is.
If it's supposed to
What's
exist in
good?
this reality.
Yeah, that sort
What's
of thing.
doing here is you kidnapped it.
I mean,
yes.
what else it's doing here?
Okay, at some point later in time, second draw happens, and Leo, you feel a long, thin, hard object, and you pull it out. You have a golden flute.
ooh.
Ooh.
Didn't I have like something else that was golden?
I'll have to double check.
Is it magic? That's the question we're all wanting answered.
Oh boy, I think I sold
think it's just
actually,
cool.
now that I think about it. Hidden bank. Yeah, I sold it. Okay, yeah. Yeah, detect magic.
It is not magical.
Sorry, guys.
Oh,
Well, that's disappointing.
can I try playing it then?
Go for it.
Kiljow will try playing a flute.
Roll performance, I guess.
Okay.
Don't you wear a full face mask?
There are holes in the mask.
There are
He's
holes
gotta
in it.
breathe
I do
somehow.
eat. with
I've
my
always thought you pulled the mask up just enough to eat.
with
Well,
my
that means you can play a flute then, yeah?
with my wonderful performance. 2.
Oh, God, stop it! Take it away.
And everyone's ears in the researchers camp bleed.
No, you're all very off-put by this noise, and about 30 seconds later, Valkyrie says, was there a monster dying over here?
Oh no, I'm trying to play the flute.
Oh,
And I'll try to play the flute again.
No.
okay.
Nope, he's gonna snatch the flute away before he does it.
Nope. I will make a contested dexterity check against you for this.
Okay.
I am assisting Leo with this.
Alright, rolling dex.
Ah. Quick,
That's enough of that.
quick. Sig, flash of genius me. Yes!
No!
Wait, no, I have to clarify, Sig, who are you using Flash of Genius on?
Killjaw.
Yes!
I enjoy the pain. It's amusing to me.
Okay, so yeah, Kiljow, you do get enough time to start to play something on the flute before it's snatched out of your hands.
18.
Better?
Flash of genius.
Not,
Okay, that's enough to make Leo pause before taking the flute away.
okay, so this sounds halfway decent, but it's fairly obvious that gold is not a metal that resonates well as a flute.
Oh, this is perfect.
So it still sounds pretty bad, but much better than the first attempt, which was something like, well... There, I put it in memes.
Oh no!
Wait, which one did you put in memes?
Oh.
Yes!
Oh, God. I'm not listening to that again.
If we start listening to it, we will not get anywhere else with the session.
No! What is this?
It's
I know
magic.
it's gonna be a recorder, but
It's-
still.
This
Wait,
is.
have you not seen this before?
This
No,
is.
I haven't.
This is
It's the-
love and magic incarnated onto our plane.
It's a person that's so bad it couldn't happen by accident. And somehow it keeps getting worse, even when you thought it was the peak of terribleness.
It is the best thing ever.
All right, so-
the person laying on the cannon part is hysterical.
Or the part where he, like, rips his shirt off and he's got a haircut. Yeah, pretty much.
Ah, God, why? This
This
is
is
so
what,
terrible. I have
Wait.
to stop it, but I
I
can't.
can't.
this is what a 2 on performance on an instrument that's not really designed correctly gets you. Right, so while Jacob's crying about that, what's everyone else doing?
I'm dying of laughter. That's amazing. Oh my god.
That's
I love
so-
how if you look, you can see, like,
Never ever give Kiljow another instrument ever again.
Can I take this back from Valkyrie?
His instrument must always be an instrument of death.
you could say instrument of torture, but that's what happened this time.
Can I find someone who
Yeah,
can
Leo takes it back.
Kiljow is saddened, and the first thing he's gonna do when he leaves is go find someone to commission to make him a flute.
Oh no.
Kiljow feels like he has a real talent for this.
Hmm.
Thank you, Sig.
Hey DM, how much are disposable earplugs I can get?
And these times, not much. They're typically made out of beeswax or something similar.
Oh, all we have to do to get that is probably go to the Wayfarer's Respite. And there's a dude who literally has hives of bees in him.
Are you suggesting taking someone's body parts and using them as earplugs?
Yes.
Right, that's going in the quote book. Here we are
You know
again.
what, you need to go on ahead and make a channel in the Discord, Taylor's quote book.
I will after we finish the session.
And I'm talking about in his Discord, the one we're in right now.
You really should.
I'm probably realistically going to make a exclamation mark quote command and just make it pull from a giant list for stream.
Well, at the very least, once that channel is made, the absolute first quote that has to go in there that's going in the quote book.
Taylor,
Fair.
always. Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh, I'm actually crying.
Must have been a really good laugh.
Oh, it was.
It was 100.
It was.
All right.
That couldn't have been more perfect.
What are you doing, Illiren?
Oh my god.
Sorry, I'm curious. Yeah. No, it might also be easier. Nysdrith, are you just planning on trading the Topi Kadachi for all your downtime?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I also need to go and get a saddle commissioned.
Well, that won't take a whole week of downtime. It'll just take money and finding someone.
Yeah.
Go ahead real quick. Give me 3 animal handling rolls.
Ready. Animal handling. There they are. Okay. Do I get any bonuses from any of my rooms for this? Probably not, but you know, never hurts to check.
Yeah, runes can do a decent amount of cool stuff.
Nope. Okay.
How many weeks downtime do we have? 3?
Currently, yes, that's what you guys are looking at.
Ooh,
Okay.
that's a sucky ass roll.
Oof.
Yeah.
It's just it's not used to you yet. It can only get better, like Kiljaw's flute playing every time we go to bed.
Oh my god. Well, it got better.
It'd get better.
Hey, there we go. Third week was the charm.
Jacob is dying.
Actually, though, I will say, before starting that, I go to Timothy and ask him for any helpful advice, or if he can even help me with taming the Tobi Kadashi.
He can
Like
help you
advantage or anything, but you know.
talk to it during the taming process, which largely is just going to consist of like regular conversation at that point, because you're just trying to get it used to people, used to being around people, like telling it, hey, do this, don't do that, yada yada yada, and we'll be good. That sort of thing.
Okay.
Just because this asshole's a dick doesn't mean you get to prick it and poison him.
Kiljaw doesn't need help. He has 33 small barrels full of pickled eggs.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Kiljaw method.
Yep.
All right. So how does the taming thing work? We need to be.
You need 50 days worth of taming, and I'll say that whole thing just balances out to 21 days worth of taming.
Yeah, there's the
To get it to just the general level where it's kind of used to people, and in this particular case, since you can communicate it with it, you can tell it like the things it obviously shouldn't do, like eat the cattle out of the fields, and
so yeah,
like-
you have 31 out of 50 towards
21.
taming.
3 weeks is 21 days.
Ah, okay. Okay.
I figured the nat 20 balances out the two absolutely terrible rolls that would have been half a week's worth each.
Okay, I thought when I was doing it, you just had me add them together, but I might be mistaken.
No, I was. Otherwise, it would be really weird that you got 21 days out of 50 for taming.
Mm.
All
Like-
right.
Coincidentally, getting that on 3d20 is actually a pretty small
Well,
chance.
I think I tamed for 2 weeks? Whatever, we can amend the system.
Yeah, no, it's
notes
just,
be missing, so no, it's fine.
just a check to see whether you can get really good or really bad rolls and possibly have bonuses or negatives to the amount of actual training time that a thing is worth.
Okay, I will.
How much is it going to cost to get a saddle made?
For an exotic saddle? I think there's actually rules for that. Let me check the player's handbook.
Well, it is a Viper Tobikidashi, so I'm guessing that's technically just exotic just because it's an exotic animal.
Exotic saddle, 60 gold, 40 pounds.
Okay.
It's under the mounts and vehicles. I've been looking at that all day for reasons.
Yeah. And then I believe that there's a difference for, let's see. If you want, yeah, you'd have to get a exotic military saddle, which would be its own kind of thing. So probably like 75 gold.
Okay. That is fine by me. All right, so I will put down 75 gold to whoever's making the saddle. I don't know, would the people who are kind of housing the monsters be the ones making the saddle?
I mean, there'd be leather workers nearby.
No, okay, so probably just give it to like a standard leather worker then and say, hey, I need a special saddle for Tobikidashi.
No.
You'd be like, you're not the weirdest request we've had to service, and then they do it.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure they get weirder from Kiljow.
One other thing I want to do is buy some potions of healing,
Okay.
which is what, 50 gold per, right?
For the normal ones, yes.
Okay. So that is 5, 10. Okay. Sorry, had to do some quick math in my head there. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go ahead and buy myself 3 standard healing potions, just so I have something.
All right.
And actually, hang on a second here. That would be 4, 5, 6. You know, let's go ahead and do 6 just to. I'm gonna do 6 potions of healing instead. And when I meet up with the group,
Hey, anybody don't have healing potions? Anybody use up all their healing potions that last one?
Good question.
I have 4 basic left.
I gave all of mine to Kiljow because
Yeah.
he needed them more.
2 lesser, 1 greater. That's all I've got.
I'll give 2 of them back to you, Sig, if you want them.
That could be useful to
Yeah,
have.
I'll give 2 potions of healing to Sig and have 2 left for myself. That's fine.
alright, so 2, and alright. So I pass 1 potion to each of the party members. 1 standard potion of healing to each of the party members.
Okay. Appreciated.
So I've got a shit ton of money here, so
Hmm.
kind of need to spend some of it.
Would you like to? No, wait. I have this idea of making a cart.
I do
Sort
have
of
a
prototype.
Oh, I was
What
just
is it?
gonna say. One thing you might also want to consider, Nysdrith. Barding. If you plan on riding it in battle, it'd probably be a good idea.
Barding?
It's animal armor.
Oh, okay. I not heard about that. How much is that going to cost?
It costs 4 times the equivalent for whatever armor it is for humanoids, and weighs twice as much. So, like for example, you could get full plate mail for it, and it would cost 6,000 gold.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, I don't have that much gold on me. Plus, I was planning on investing in Sig's flying ship.
Yeah, you could probably much more reasonably get something like, because Tobi-Kadachi's got pretty decent decks. Yeah, what's
See,
it?
you
where
you guys are doing like a flying ship timeshare here.
Well,
It's only got a +1 dex. What?
What?
Weird.
Huh.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was weird.
What?
Okay. So yeah, anything like
At that point,
Gale
like,
mail or ring
Yeah.
mail or chain mail would probably be good.
yeah, no, it's like
Gotta-
some medium,
I'll have to look that up. I'll get back to you on that.
some kind of
That
medium armor.
requires some researching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will note, just as a point of reference, like for those armors, it takes a human a while to get in and out of them. It would take even longer to get the Tobi-Kadachi in and out of them. So if that's ever a consideration, that would be
Right.
Oh, we should look into that for Stephen Henry too.
Barding for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you could totally do that.
What's their dex?
Her dex is +5.
Oh fuck. Okay, so
Oh
like,
yeah, they are wriggly little guys.
so yeah,
Yeah.
some kind of light armor.
Some kind of
then.
leather. Yeah.
Okay, well, Kiljaw's main
Right.
activity is going to be
Well, I believe next Sig was going to do his.
Oh,
And you
yes.
said you wanted to wait.
I mean,
do you want me to make my animal handling rolls for my main activity now? Which is going to be Palomo training.
How many weeks are you going to do that?
The full 3 that everyone else is taking right now.
All right, sure, yeah. Fast and it's easy.
Yeah. Do I get advantage by spending pickled egg barrels?
Sure, an entire barrel's worth for each roll.
Okay. Yep.
Ah. All right, not terrible.
Yep. No,
Mhm.
seems about right.
Okay, so that counts as 5 weeks worth of training.
Okay.
Nice.
So that's 35 days
That's
worth.
35 days. What the fuck, Kiljaw? Why are you like this?
Okay, and last but not least,
We both have the same animal handling, huh?
yeah, Sig, you
Yeah.
have 3 weeks where everyone's running around training animals and selling things.
I know that we're planning on like
Yeah.
taking a trip to the mainland eventually.
I have a question, because the Palomo is currently at 3 out of 50.
Right.
So should that be 7 out of 50 instead?
No, you did a half a week's worth because you got a very
Oh.
poor roll.
Okay. So 35.
Yeah.
30.
Depending on the animal's disposition, it can be more or less for the DC. But essentially, if you meet the DC, then it's just regular. If you beat it by a certain amount, then it is usually like 5 to 10 or nat 20. You just get double, and if you fail, you get half.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
All right. Yeah, Sig, you know that you guys are probably planning on going to the mainland soon to go look for this either resources or people. You're not really sure at this point. You haven't really solidified any plans, but you know there's a couple things you could do. Pay off this debt to Kakabiel and help Kiljow find this temple. Maybe do something about that. You know that there's apparently an abyssal magic user somewhere running around doing things.
We got ourselves a full plate.
You know that
All right.
other stuff is happening in general in the world.
All right. So, first thing, probably should get this going. I want to try and set up signature creations with Gornak and have that at least be somewhat self-sustaining.
All right.
So I don't have to. So at least my employees can pay themselves. Try to set up so it's self-sustaining. At least.
Right. At least for basic stuff, not like custom commissions from you specifically.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not out of character. No idea how to do that.
well, you need to make sure it was pretty well stocked up whenever you go on a trip. You'd want to make sure that anyone working for you could fulfill most of the tasks that someone might require, and preferably have some way of communicating with you if they need advice or help. Few of those are easier to figure out than others. Hunters bring in rare ores fairly often, so it's easy enough to get materials before you go on a trip in case they need anything that's not super specific. Gonrock's been getting pretty decent at smithing, and Matthew's actually gotten a bit better at working with mechanisms and stuff as you've taught him. So just continuing to teach them would help. The last point, probably want some sort of some sort of item that worked with a message or a sending. You know that there are stones that can send a message to someone once a day, similar to the message spell. They're not too expensive.
Sending some standing stones. Something like that, I guess. Stone
Yeah.
ascending.
Sending stones are an uncommon wondrous items. They're pairs. When you touch one stone, you can use an action to cast a sending spell to the bearer of the other stone, and it can only be used once per day.
Oh.
And that's the one where you get 25-word message, and then they can talk back, and that's it. It's an uncommon item, largely because the enchantment for that uses a magic that can work over practically any distance as long as you're on the same plane. So it's not inexpensive to get or make, but it's not overly expensive either. It would be in the hundreds of golds range.
Yeah, that's. Honestly, the one message a day feels like it might be a bit of a limitation on actually giving advice back.
Well, each stone can be used that way. So if you have the stone, you can cast sending, targeting the person holding the other stone. You
Yes.
say something, they get the chance to say something back, and then they still have a use of their stone.
Oh, okay, that's best option I got so far. Would I have to commission the smart people in making that?
Researchers?
That's the
Um,
word, researchers.
You could
Or-
commission them, you could see if they have any that they've already made, or you could try making some yourself.
Well,
The base cost of a set of setting stones is 125 gold. And for an uncommon, which means make it would probably take you a few weeks and 63 gold.
honestly, it's better just to buy it if I can get it at the 125. Check with the researchers to see if they have any.
All
If
right. I mean, they've got a few sets currently. They're not very good looking, which typically when people make these, they want to make them like good looking items for vanity purposes. But these were just like practice ones that they made at the camp, or not practice per se, just ones that some of the junior researchers made while learning how to make them. They still work perfectly well. They're just not as aesthetically pleasing as people like to make these. Because that typically requires a stone that's at least semi-precious, and if you do the enchantment wrong, it does not work.
Wait, does it work?
Well, if you do the enchantment wrong, then it can destroy the object you're trying to enchant. So, to avoid that, they have people learn how to make them using regular stones. So these are just not as nice looking as ones that you might be able to get if you commission some.
Not great looking. They're the first attempts, so if they break, whatever.
Yeah.
Alright.
You could commission some. It would just be take like 2 to 3 weeks plus the cost of whatever types of stone you wanted to make it out of.
I mean, if the practice ones work, and,
Yeah, no, they work fine.
then sure, I have no problem buying one of them. Pair of them.
All right. Yeah, they've got 3 pairs. Do you want to just buy one or multiple or?
I would like 2 pairs.
Okay. So yeah, you can give them 250 gold. They'll give you 2 pairs of sending stones. And this way you can give one to Matthew and one to Gone Rock.
6. I mean, 5. Yes, I can. Probably better to just leave both of them at the shop so that either one can use them to call me if they need it.
Mm-hmm. Well, the person
It
has
also
to
gives
be
me
has to have the stone on their person to use it.
so. They can
And so does
either
the other
one.
person. Yeah, no, you like to call
I have
them.
to have
They
my
have
2.
yeah. For them to
And
call
then-
you,
yeah, right.
you'd have to have the stone on your person. For you to call them, they'd have to have the stone on their person.
All right. Yeah, probably it would be better to give one to each of them. And a particularly long message, they could probably work together to give out the full 100 or so words.
Yeah, it's not like you got to attune to it or anything. It's just you have to be holding it.
All right.
Okay. That's this entire downtime so far for you has taken the better part of like an hour.
Yeah, that's
It
something.
happens.
I know we're traveling, and truth of the matter is, I'm also kind of wanting to go to the old world to look into airship creation more, because I know there's goal to look into, but I have an idea and I want to start making it, and I don't think it's a good idea or useful, but I'm doing it anyway. I want to build a wagon.
Like a car?
No, a wagon. It'll basically be a car, but mostly.
All right.
So a speed wagon.
When I'm done with it, it will be, but for now,
Will it be an Ario?
Monday item. When I'm done, it will be, but for now, mundane item, vehicle, wagon. Wait, not wagon. Carriage. Carriage is the one I want. Wagon's the other thing.
Okay.
I have a hard time telling the difference.
I mean, if you want to spend the 3 weeks of downtime that is going by so far just doing that, you can get a decent way into making it. It's not difficult to get the materials, but it does take quite a bit of time to actually work everything to where it, you know, building the actual body of it is not as much of a time issue. It's just, unless you want to make it look really nice, but making sure that all the axles are aligned and the poles are straight and the wheels are in good condition and relatively even does take a while. Is there anything else you wanted to do with your downtime? Because if not, we can just say you're working on that for 3 weeks and get most of the way done.
Craft non-magical item.
Unless you have a rule that overrides that general case.
Weirdly enough, artificers, despite being builders, don't really get much, like, speed up building things.
Good work takes time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most of the quick things that artificers can do is related to, like,
Temporary magic items.
yeah,
then-
imbuing magic into items and stuff after rests.
I have this odd idea of take wagon, sort of reinforce it a little bit, imbue the spell Phantom Steed, and have that as the horse, so that it has its own little phantom horse.
I mean, that's something you could absolutely do with the right materials and time.
I'm a blacksmith. I could help with that if I weren't training my Tobi Kadashi.
Alright, so 3 weeks go by, you try and continue teaching Matthew and Gonrock more as you also go about, like, trying to put together a wagon, procuring the wheels from a wheel maker, and having to tell you, like, you know, how to set it up so everything is correctly aligned and how to repair it properly if anything should happen. Spent some time getting the body of the carriage put together, and it's mostly finished. At this point, you would need to just add on some sort of spot for the drivers or the stagecoach person to sit on, and whatever you want to build on top of the basic carriage body, because it's not even covered at this point. And then partway through that last day of the 3 weeks, if any of you are outside, you see a very large shadow approaching the camp.
Yep! Called it!
Yep.
Going to call the researchers camp. Mom is here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Kiljow
yeah.
would probably be outside.
Boy.
And yeah, no, you managed to get everyone together, and the researchers gather outside the camp with the egg, make a big show of, like, trying to flag down the dragon.
Does it look like it's the same blue dragon?
Oh no, this one's much bigger.
Oh.
Oh no!
Kiljow will wave at it.
It will ignore Kiljow because it is intent on getting its egg back.
And we will freely give it to her with our apologies.
So yeah, this massive blue dragon swoops down and lands in front of you. Give me one good reason why I shouldn't incinerate all of you.
Did we ever get the dragon's name?
Don't think so.
Oh,
Hmm.
shit! Explain the entirety of the situation. We had this enchanted bag that we are researching that apparently pulls random things. However, we were not fully aware of the bag taking from people we thought it was creating.
That's a deception.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me deception.
However, when we noticed that it was a blue dragon egg, we immediately realized we may have taken from a nest, and therefore kept the egg safe, made sure it was stayed incubated, so that when the mother or father of said egg came to get it, we would give it freely without any resistance.
Go ahead and roll me persuasion.
Just in case.
Yeah.
She sort of looks down at you. Very well. Since the situation was entirely an accident, I will take my egg with me. I will not destroy any of you. But if this happens again, one of three things is going to happen. You are going to hand the bag to me to destroy. I will kill you, all of these people, and this entire settlement. Or you will become my slaves and owe me tribute.
We will ensure that this never happens again.
Well, I think we'd be okay with letting the bag get destroyed if it did.
The bag is
But
off limits.
yeah, it's nice to know that all the blue dragons around here seem to be really, really nice. It's nice to meet you.
This ancient, massive dragon, like 40 feet tall, 100 feet long, turns towards this small cat talking to it. Huh. Well, that's strange.
Well,
Anyhow,
we met another really nice blue dragon up in the desert.
That fool that considers himself a tyrant of the glass and the sands.
Oh, he didn't seem like a tyrant. He was able to point us to where we needed to go. He was really nice.
The situation is we accidentally encroached upon his territory, and he was kind enough not to punish us with the promise it never happens again.
Well, you've caught my interest. You're either the least or most lucky creatures I've ever met.
Well, I'll take that as a compliment.
Oh, thank you.
Mood.
Oh, that's enough discussion about my son. I should be off.
We again appreciate your kindness and your judgment, and we pray you have safe travels.
She just scoops up the egg and lifts off into the air. The force of the beating of her wings, like, forces you to back up a step and stabilize yourself against the wind. Then she's off.
They're a really nice family. And now Taylor's dying.
Fallen blue dragon killed.
Leo has internal screaming with Kiljow right now. It's like, can't you be any more obliviously innocent?
There's just one wrong step and you'll have an entire family of blue dragons on your tail. Nice.
Oh
No,
my god! It's like
they're basically our friends, right?
Kiljow is like the biggest accidental ambassador we have here.
I mean, that's a lot of attribution towards Kiljow, mister. I rolled a 20 on persuasion.
I'm sorry if I bullshit like a pro.
That was great. Specifically, I'm very happy with the fact that it has a random amount of time before the mom shows up, and it was exactly the 3-week mark.
Yeah.
Okay! Leo's going to go clap, and here's what's going to happen. Leo's going to go and report that everything is safe. We are not going to die by the hands of an angry blue dragon mama. But we have now been warned, which unfortunately means I'm not risking any more pulls of this bag, and it's being handed over to the researchers' camp to be locked away.
Okay. You hand it over, and they put it in a storage area.
Why didn't we just give it to the blue dragon that came here? They would have probably appreciated
didn't.
that.
She didn't ask for it. But you have a good point. I probably should have.
I still think we could have taken her.
Nysdrith, down boy.
But why? It's the mother of our friend.
Something.
Do you have any idea how awesome it would have been to have a blue dragon baby buddy?
Do you have any idea how much damage an ancient blue dragon's lightning breath does?
We
A
have
lot.
cannons.
You have what?
We have cannons.
We have a Kiljow to tame it.
Oh my god, can we please set the campaign for the night? This is too much.
Oh, I still have my downtime activity.
Yeah, no, you guys, if you still want to do more downtime, you can't have more downtime.
Well,
I-
did you do your original 3 weeks, Silent?
Well, I have the other
Yeah.
thing I'm doing during those 3 weeks.
And what is that?
Okay, so I got that information from Akambherylliax.
Right.
If I just take a stroll for a few nights, is there a night when it doesn't look like there's really anyone near Avara's house where they're still out?
Sure, you can find a time when there's basically no one near there.
Alright, I need to check this item again. Alright, and I am wearing the shadow shawl,
All right.
so no one can really see my face.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try to be as sneaky as I can in case there is anyone out and about, so should I roll stealth?
Sure.
Okay, decent.
I was gonna say that's decent, which means it's terrible for you. Oh frick, roll 20.
It was terrible
But
for
yeah.
him.
on a night when there's not really anyone out and about, I have my shadow shawl up, etc. I'm just gonna slip a note under Avara's door.
Mm-hmm.
That just says at the top, Mabina, and then underneath it, Mavis the Wise.
Okay.
And then I'm going to head out of town, kind of make my way with the shawl on, like around, out in the like out away from the town, up and around, like pop the shawl off, kind of keep coming up to where like the ranch is, and then kind of just make my way back down and go to bed.
All right.
And there's a day when is there like a day when like I'm down in like the supplies and whatnot where there's no one else there?
What do you mean the supplies? Like the stockpile for the guild?
Yeah.
I mean, you can try and go there. And try and find a time. Eventually there will be a time when there's basically no one there. But you still, like, most of the time during the day at least.
Should I roll another stealth then?
Yeah, if you want to get in without being detected, it would be stealth probably sometime in the evening or night.
Okay, 22.
Okay.
And I'll leave another note in the stockpile that just says, Mabina, and then underneath it, Mavis the Wise. And I'll leave it somewhere where it would probably be likely that, like, Kel or someone would find it.
Okay.
Then I'll continue on my 3 weeks of training the Paolumu and whatnot.
All right. Yep. Oh, for reference, Jacob, the one I wanted you to get was a 42. A notebook with several torn pages and what looks like very sloppy handwriting appears in your hand. Upon further inspection, you can make out the letters DM notes, but the rest of the notebook is in a language nobody can understand.
That
Oh,
is
God.
both hilarious and terrible.
Also, 50 might have been appropriate. A note that reads, "This bag is nothing but trouble," appears in your hand.
So, what happens if someone gets that and has comprehend languages?
Then they read the GM notes.
Okay.
Not necessarily useful or for this particular reality, but whatever. Ooh, 52 would have gotten a white dragon wormling.
Yeah.
This sounds worth it.
Nothing could have gone wrong. I mean, as far as I could tell, all we did was meet a new friend.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, that's the extra stuff that I wanted to do during the downtime there. Is make sure that information got to Avara's party and to the higher-ups in the guild, so that if something needs to be done about that, it can be.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor.
Yes.
One other quick thing Nysdrith would go ahead and do after suggestion was made: run over to the airship dock and ask about how much it would cost to charter an airship to whatever the heck that town's name was.
The town is... I have it here. Mindguard.
Yeah, did you want to try and go to Mindguard? Did you want to try and go to Locklack City?
For Locklack City was the big one. And then maybe make our way back to Mindguard, right? Was the other one?
Yeah, Mindguard might
Mindguard was the other one. Yeah.
Mindguard might be the better first stop because it'll be sooner.
You
Well,
could
I was
also stop at Varudo, then go down to Mindguard, then go down to
Well, I
Yeah.
was thinking we
Valhabar,
charter the airship
or the dunes,
to
and yeah.
Lochlac City first to get the big journey out of our way, if you will, and then charter the airship again up to Mindguard and the other 3 towns.
The problem that I don't think you realize with this is if you complete your objective in Lochlac City, you will no longer need to do the one in Mindguard.
Yeah.
Well, then isn't it a good thing if we manage to get the Lochlac City one done?
Yes, but what I'm saying is you wouldn't go to Lochlac City and then Mindguard. You could go to Mindguard, try and figure it out. If it doesn't work out, go to Lochlac City, and vice versa. But
We could still probably
You know.
realistically go to Mindguard and Varudo for the visiting the temple stuff.
yeah, you could still do that even if you wanted to go to Lochlac City. And you would learn this going and asking about it. Chartering an airship directly to Lochlac City would be fairly expensive. It would cost like 700 gold.
Okay.
Oof.
Because that is a very, very long distance, and it's not a normal like trip that they typically do. However, if you wanted to charter a ship going out to Varudo or Mindguard, and then go from there to Lochlac City, it would be much less expensive because they do have a lot more air traffic between them than Lochlac has with the old world, which is literally halfway around the entire planet.
Yeah.
It's a long trip.
Yeah.
All right, but it'd be 700, and I'm guessing it would be like another 200 or so to get to Mindguard. Mindguard. Or that 700
going
would be
from-
a round trip.
No, 700 would be just going to Lochlac City.
Okay, so 1400 basically for a round trip.
Yes.
How much would it
if
be
you
to
wanted,
go to Mindguard and then go to Lochlac from there?
okay. Okay. Let's just do this simply. To go from the frontier to Mindguard or vice versa would cost 50 gold.
Okay.
Frontier to Lochlac City or vice versa, 700. Mindguard to Lochlac City or vice versa would be about 150.
Guys, I'll be right back. I thought I heard something inside the dining room.
Okay.
So like that?
Yes. So, like, if you were okay with taking a ship to Mindguard and then an airship from Mindguard to Lochlac City, it would be slightly slower, but it would also cost you 500 less gold.
Yeah. That seems like the better option.
Okay.
Because let's see, yeah. So going from the old world to Mindguard by ship to be about 3 weeks. Going from Mindguard to Lochlac City by airship would be about a month.
Well, that's better than the 6 months it was going to take.
Well, the 5
Yeah.
months is for sailing around.
Right, that's what I mean.
There's some particular difficulties with going around the entire continent.
Right.
And just taking a airship straight from the camp to Lochlac City would take about a month and a half, and so your total travel time would decrease by a week.
How long would it take to take a airship to Mindguard?
Probably about 2 weeks.
Alright, so it would shave a week off of the travel time.
Yeah. That would cost a bit more though, like 75 to 100 gold, depending on what kind of ship you wanted to go on. These are just, again, basic prices. You'd probably maybe be able to find, if somebody was already going there and you were willing to like sit in the cargo hold with a bunch of stuff, versus normal versus like first class luxury cabins, there's a range. But this is just
Yeah. We could
a
also
normal commission ship.
I am back.
we could also just realistically like offer our services to protecting the ship since we're hunters.
That might shave some of the cost off.
Might make it like 30 gold instead of 50 or something, or 40 or something.
It depends on who you talk to and how much extra budget they have and how much they need the protection or anticipate running into issues or things like that. That would be something you'd have to negotiate.
Yeah.
And one more question is, I don't know, actually, hang on a second here. No, that's not what I wanted.
And as we all know, negotiating is Leo's job.
Oh, God.
Okay, no, wait, I do have... Alright, never mind. That is pretty much all I had. I will, like, when I meet up with the rest of the group, I'll let them know the cost of taking an airship to and from the areas that Kiljow needs to go to.
Right, yeah. I will
And the
say,
fact that I can cover a decent amount of that, honestly.
this is airfare for you guys, and also includes for like Steve and Henry. If you wanted to try and bring the Toby Kadachi and the Palumu along, it would cost more because they need extra room to house them, and they would require that they be tame first. But it would be something you could then train them on the way there a bit.
I was gonna say, they're not tame yet, so that might not be a great idea.
They're also not typical passengers.
Mm.
Fact of the matter is, Steve and Henry are oddly intelligent for monsters of their general class.
Mm-hmm.
So you can tell them like, hey, don't do this, and then they remember not to do it and don't act as impulsively. Just as an example, Steve and Henry have an intelligence of 12. The Toby Kadachi has an intelligence of 4.
How about the Palumo?
Intelligence of 3. Hydrome has an intelligence of 4.
Oh boy.
So yeah, Palumo is the intelligence of like a cat.
Yup.
Iodrome and Kodachi have the intelligence of like a kind of dumb dog.
Speaking of cat, my apologies. I have kitten in my chest.
Is that what you heard?
Yeah, well, no, not quite. I thought I heard a fight breaking out, and I got worried about the little guy. Normally, he stays in the living room with my dad, but since Dad's out of town, it's like he doesn't really have anybody to snuggle. So I picked him up, and he just started snuggling.
Aww.
I actually got the webcam up if anybody wants to real quickly look.
But that's it for me, basically, for those 3 weeks at least.
Okay.
I roll my 12-sided dice.
Yep. Okay. Do you guys want to try and leave now? Do you want to try and figure out, like, discuss amongst yourselves where exactly you're going, what your plan is, etc.? Do you want to try and spend some more time taming your monsters or doing other downtime activities, gathering supplies, or hiring people? Because remember, you can one thing you can do is you can hire a freelance hunter to come with you. And I haven't finished putting the price together for them, but you could.
Well, do we want to take a look at that next week then, when the prices are all set?
Mm-hmm.
What do we
Yeah,
need extra
fair.
hunters for?
Just backup help. It's just an option you have. You don't have, like, there's not any particular reason to do or not do it besides wanting some extra help or not.
Is our plan then that we're getting ready to leave for Mine Guard?
Think that's
Yeah,
think that's
I
the
get
plan.
that general feeling.
And you would want to try and look into some stuff there about the silver blood and trying to figure out if there's anything that could help fight the influence of
Abyssal magic.
abyssal magic. Would be roughly what you guys are going for.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I am gonna real quickly double check, because how many more weeks of downtime are we doing before we start the trip?
Oh, we just did 3. I don't know how many more we're planning on doing.
Yeah. If you guys can have some more downtime before the trip if you want, but that would be something you'd have to figure out as well.
The only bit I would probably ask for is just a chance to real quickly look at the merchants real fast before we head out.
I don't think that really would take a whole week, so of course.
No, the merchants, like the regular merchants, are always there. The irregular merchants, I honestly supposed to update them once a month, but you guys have been running through downtime, which makes it difficult to do that during a session.
Yeah.
If you want, I can just throw in a whole bunch of you guys have gone through what now? Almost 3 months. So I can put 3 months of stuff on there. You can look through it, see if there's anything you want, and then reset it after that.
Speaking of which, we're 1 week away from 3 months of downtime. We all owe the guild another 10 gold.
Yep.
I'll deduct that from mine now.